And a good afternoon to you, Bomber Nation. We welcome you into Smith Robinson Stadium in the beautiful campus of Greenwood, Arkansas, Titletown, Arkansas, as they have proclaimed. Ton of football state championships here. I believe there's also a state championship of the European kind of football. Glad you're here with us. I am Dylan Conley here with you. All the action today. Brad Coleman's going to join us later. I think he's getting out of the office a little late, so he's going to roll in close to the girls' game. But this is a big game for Mountain Home. If they get a win today and Van Buren defeats Farmington, they will find themselves in the Class 5A state tournament next week in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Should be a good one today. If Mountain Home gets a tie or loses, they will be out. And if Farmington upsets Van Buren or ties Van Buren, they will be out of the state playoffs as well. Take a look at a few things here before we get started. Here's the starting formation for Mountain Home. Zach Padgett in goal. Austin London's out there. Pepe Leonhardt alongside on defense. Jonathan Hernandez, Austin Gray as well along the backside. Cannon Matlock, Zane Durack, and Dirks Beauregard. Landon Scallion, Caleb Daniel, and Joel Mead round out the starting 11 for the Mountain Home Bombers today. Needing 3 points today and a little bit of help to make it to the Class 5A state playoffs. As they're going through the starting lineups here, we're going to have Bomber Soccer for you in just a few minutes. Going to take a short little break as we prepare all the action here from Smith Robinson Stadium here in Greenwood. This is Bomber Soccer on the Bomber Sports Network. All right, Bomber Nation, it's time to get rolling here in Greenwood. Ready to kick things off. They've gone through the starting lineups. They've done the national anthem. They've had the song and dance so far today. Glad you're here with us on the Bomber Sports Network. Actually, I had the uniform colors a little backwards today. So I always forget that in soccer, the home team is actually going to wear their predominant color, and the visiting team will always be wearing white. So Mountain Home in their white road uniforms with blue numerals and gold trim along the numerals. They are wearing blue shorts with a little gold on the side, white stockings, and assorted colors of cleats. Greenwood in their home blues, white stripes across the chest. They are wearing navy blue shorts along with navy blue socks and assorted cleats as well. This was a matchup in the 5A state semifinals this year in football, the American variety. It is the Bulldogs and Bombers. Again, Mountain Home needing 3 points and a little help from Van Buren to make it to the Class 5A state tournament. We'll keep tabs on that game. This is a unique situation that I believe these juniors and seniors had 2 years ago. They went down to Alma. They needed to win, and they put a beat down on Alma. I believe that was 7 or 8-0. They left no doubt about that one, but they needed some help, and they happened to get it. So we'll see if Lightning can strike twice. As we're finally ready to get things going here in beautiful Greenwood. Titletown, USA. Speaking of titles, want to give a big shout out to our boys cross country team. They are the 2-time back-to-back 5A state champions. They won it going away. I mean, my goodness, it was, I'll be honest, it wasn't particularly close even. Mountain Home finished with 120 points. The next closest team had 56 points. So it was not necessarily the most competitive meet in the world, but that's how good our track and field team is. They left no doubt. I mean, I looked at the standings about, I'd say 2:30, 3 o'clock, and it was a 30-point lead at that point. Everyone making their way out onto the field now. I think we're ready to get rolling. They'll play 2 40-minute halves. There is no overtime, so if it ends in a tie, it ends. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologize, had some technical difficulties. The internet went out here in Greenwood, so we had to switch to our hotspot. You didn't miss anything. Greenwood's got a corner coming up. It's a well-defended ball by Mountain Home. Again, big apologies there. As what a great job by Zach Padgett to steal that one out of the air. He tumbled over a Greenwood defender, and Zach's down. He's slow to get up. Greenwood trying to drag him up as Jonathan shoos him away. As he's up under his own power. He's a tough cookie. He's going to put the ball down and take a quick breath. This is going to bounce toward the midfield. Again, apologies about the not everything not working correctly. There's a lot of things we can control. Sometimes we get things we can't control. Just there at some places. It's a pretty stout connection we got here. We've lost some juice about the 2-minute mark into this one. Back this way is Daniel. It'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home. Goes back this way, cross to Dirac. Bisdell's going to go in pursuit of this one, corral it. Greenwood has a very good defense. They've hang their hat on their defense. They have made a state finals appearance in soccer with a record very similar to what they have now, just based off of their defense. This one's booted down the field. Daniel in pursuit of it. He might get to it first, and he will. Outside the 18-yard box, this will go out of play, and it's going to be a corner for Mountain Home. It was just going to be a throw-in, actually. It was placed to the right of the corner flag. Moving into the middle of the defense, he's swarmed by 5 Greenwood Bulldogs. Make it 7. Mountain Home still with possession. Trying to get it out of there. It goes to Daniel. Now they boot it out of harm's way. Austin Gray's going to pursue this one. It's going to go out of play. And it will stay with Greenwood. They will throw in. A little further back than where it was supposed to be, but it will stay with Greenwood here along the sideline. Throwing for Greenwood comes down to the head of Austin Gray. They'll come back this way. Booted past by Daniel. Now Mountain Home on the attack here. Skip to the far side to Matlock. Here come the Bombers flying away down the sideline. Looking for someone to cross it to, and he won't have anyone there. It'll be a harmless goal kick for the Bombers of for the Bulldogs of Greenwood. Kicks away. It's going to come down to the boot of a Bomber. A lot of wrestling for position. As it's cleared out. Mountain Home has been winning the possession game here early on as we're approaching the 8-minute mark. Back to the bill. Daniel whiffed on it. Now it's knocked around by Greenwood. Comes down to Mountain Home. Beauregard grit with it, tried to skip it to Meade. It goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Bulldogs of Greenwood. Longest road trip between two conference opponents in the state of Arkansas for soccer is this one. A short 199 miles between the two programs from the tip of the Bomber all the way to the Bulldog bust at the front of Greenwood High School over here. This is Meade down the sideline. He is pushed around, and it's going to be a goal kick. Meade was shielded from the ball. And a goal kick coming up for the Bulldogs. I don't have a roster for Greenwood. I have the roster they are supposed to submit to SB Live. They did submit it, just don't have numbers with it, but that's okay. This one goes out of play. It's going to go to Greenwood. They're going to throw it in about even with the goal line on the football field. Anybody watching at home, if you're able to tune in to Van Buren versus Farmington, give us a shout. We'll gladly take the updates. Here's a throw. It's a good throw-in. Comes down to the crown of Jacob Bisdell, who boots it away. Now goes way outside the 18-yard box, down to the 25 of the football field. And it's skipped away by Beauregard. Will go out of play and be a throw-in at the 20 on the football field. Again, the football field about 10 yards, 15 yards wider, depending where you're at, than the football field. The American football field, that is. It's the same length. The width is just a little bit bigger. What's funny is when they had the state finals at the University of Arkansas, that's the biggest soccer field in the state dimension-wise, and sorry, by AAA rules, it was not a legal field. So it always helped the team that was more athletic in the state finals. Dirac boots this one straight in the air. Mountain Home pursuit. Mountain Home has won the pursuit game, or the possession game so far. I would say by a 75 to 20%, 25 percentage. Greenwood's had two pretty decent opportunities. Mountain Home's had a handful as well, so believe Greenwood is out of it. The top 3 seeds have already been decided. Russellville along with Siloam Springs at the top of the table. And then Van Buren in 3rd place. That 4 seed is still in question. It is either going to be the Mountain Home Bombers or Farmington Cardinals that will occupy that number 4 seed. Greenwood using a lot of space. You can't even see him. He's in front of the fencing here. It's a long and pretty decent throw, and it's going to go to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's just headed around. It's gone off the crown of 4 different players. Mount Home trying to clear it out, and they will, but not very far. Good job by Hernandez to get a boot in there and knock it away back towards midfield. Hernandez again is going to skip this one across the G at the 50-yard line. And here come the Bombers as Pepe Leonhardt. Now he's going to skip it back this way to Austin Lunnan. Lunnan looking. He's going to get it knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Bombers. Class 5A state tournament will be next week. It is shared between, if it's the same as it was last year, between the campuses of Hot Springs Lakeside, Hot Springs, and I believe Lake Hamilton as well. I believe just the first day. The second day is split between Hot Springs and Lakeside. The semifinals will be played at Hot Springs Lakeside only. Bisdell doing a great job shielding the defender near the corner flag, and a whistle and a foul against Greenwood will give a free kick to the Bombers at the 14-minute mark. Bisdell's kick, a booming kick. It's going to land just in front of the G on the football field here. And Greenwood came to Mountain Home a couple weeks ago and got a 2-1 victory over the Bombers. It was a game that saw all 3 goals scored in the first 9 minutes and 15 seconds. So far, we've played 14 minutes, and there's not been a goal so far. Substitution ready to come in. It looks like Cannon Matlock's going to come back into the game. He started tonight and was a quick substitution, and whistle, they're going to call a foul. Got tripped up there. I think that was the right call. This will stay with Greenwood. Free kick coming at the next to the hash mark, the 32-yard line. Free kick coming for Mountain Home. Again, the boys, the first game of the day. The girls will wrap up the night. We'll have that game for you. Brad Coleman said he was going to come up here. I don't know. Said he would. He's pretty, I trust his word. Now I'm trying to get this one out of there. Austin Gray steps in front of it. Now they're going to try to clear it. He just couldn't get a lot of space on it. It's going to be a throw-in for Mountain Home, but it's very deep into Greenwood's territory. Substitutions coming in. Leonhardt's going to head to the bench. Scallion and Cannon Matlock will come in for Mountain Home. Throw-in coming for Greenwood here. And they play 2 40-minute halves. No score here in Greenwood. Believe me, you'd know if there was a score. This one's thrown in front of the net. Comes down to the crown of a Bomber. It's going to be skipped out of the 18-yard box. Matlock trying to clear it out. It's a big mess of bodies here. Mountain Home in pursuit of the ball. It's going to take a good, well, not a good Mountain Home bounce. It's going to go off the shins of Caleb Daniel. And go out of play, last touched by Daniel. Greenwood has very strong throw-ins, I've noticed. There's not a ton of wind today. It's probably under a light breeze when we walked into the building, but it has died down. I'd say if there's any wind, it's 1 to 2 miles an hour. And no update from Van Buren Farmington. Again, Mountain Home will need a win today and a Van Buren win to go to the Class 5A state playoffs. They have really turned it on since the last time these two teams met. Outside of the Van Buren game, Mountain Home has either gotten 1 or 3 points from every team that they've played. A throw-in coming for Mountain Home. Matlock's going to throw this one. It's booted just to the left of the net. It will go out of play and be a harmless goal kick for Greenwood. Greenwood, the American football capital of Arkansas. Kicks away. It's a big booming kick. It's going to come down to the head of Beauregard. Beauregard tried to boot it past the Greenwood defense. Now they'll settle it down. There was a foul. It's going to be a free kick about the 40-yard line. They're going to move it back across midfield where the infraction occurred at the 45-yard line. Currently 55 yards from the goal. So they'll need a pretty hefty kick to get this one close. Comes the kicks away. It's curving. It's going to go to the front of the 18-yard box. Not down to a Bomber, but to a Bulldog. Jonathan's going to knock it away. And they're going to call offsides. So when the free kick was away, the last defender was to the left of the offensive player. And it was offsides, and it will go to Mountain Home for a free kick. Jacob Bisdell will take the free kick today. This is bounced and takes a couple of hops down to the 50. Greenwood with possession now. Good job by Austin Lunnan. Keep this one in front of him. What a move by Matlock to weave out of trouble there. It looked like he tripped up a Greenwood player, but I think it was just so well placed the ball tripped him. So there was no infraction. We play on. Hernandez in pursuit along the far sideline, and it will go out of play and be a throw-in for Greenwood, but not before we have some substitutions. Joel Mead's going to come back into the game. And a pair of Bulldogs on the far side for Coach Tyler Woods. Tyler Woods had a short coaching spell at Mountain Home about 12, 13 years ago. Helped coach football. I think he helped out in track. That was when I was in high school. So this one will go bounce out of play, and it should be a goal kick for Mountain Home. And, well, they're going to say a corner kick. Bisdell didn't try to pursue that one. He thought it was last touched by Mountain Home, but they were sorely mistaken. So corner number 3 for the Bulldogs. This kicks away. It's going to bounce to the left of the 18-yard box. Bisdell knocks it away. It will go way out of play, about the 20 to the 25-yard line. Trying to find... This is knocked around. It's going to be corralled by Mountain Home. Bisdell's going to smack it to the near side. Meade couldn't get a handle on it. Now it's turned over. Greenwood has it. It's a very dangerous spot, a lot of contact, but it's not an infraction. Mountain Home will come up with the ball. It will be cleared out. It's going to go to Caleb Daniel, part of the blonde brigade for Mountain Home. A lot of the players dyeing their hair platinum blonde, so it's difficult at times to tell them apart. Of course, they need to get their roots done, some of them. That's starting to show what their real hair color is. They're going for the Justin Timberlake look. Here's Caleb Daniel. He's going to launch one toward the net. Next to the keeper. It's saved by the keeper of Greenwood. It'll be a corner kick for Mountain Home. A golden opportunity coming up for the Bombers. See if Mountain Home can cash in here. Here it is in front of the net. It's going to get knocked away by Greenwood. It's going to be a centering pass back to Caleb Daniel, and Mountain Home's going to reset. Have an update. 18-minute mark in Van Buren. They're about neck and neck time-wise with us. It's still 0-0 between Farmington and Van Buren. We don't like to just focus on too many games that we're not involved in, but that one has a big significance to ours as Padgett's going to go up and save that one. Look like Randy Moss jumping over a corner, a cornerback, and we're going to have a whistle and a stoppage here. The 17:01 mark. Now the official is going to talk to Padgett here as we'll resume play right now. 17 minutes to go. Farmington, Van Buren about a minute behind us time-wise. So it'll be like a Premier League Saturday where all the points matter. Here come the Bombers. Bouncing back this way is Meade. Now it's cleared out. It's going to come down to Bisdell. Bisdell now. Moving along the far sideline, it will go to Austin Lunnan. On the tall, lanky right side of the offense. Centering pass in front. It will be a goal kick for the Bulldogs. Bunch of substitutions coming in and out for both sides. Glad you're here with us. Beautiful Smith Robinson Stadium. Greenwood, Arkansas. Short 199 miles away from beautiful Mountain Home. Bisdell back this way. I believe it's senior night for Greenwood as well, as now they have a real chance here. Padgett crossing in front of the net. It will go into the net. It's a goal for Greenwood. So Greenwood on the board here at 15:21. As they're going to tend to Zach Padgett there. He's taking some hard licks in this one. Teams will go to their sidelines for timeouts in soccer, but a pseudo timeout. Everyone's going to catch their breath and see if we can't resume things here shortly. So Greenwood with the opening goal of the game. Mountain Home will need to find 2 goals in this one. Razorback softball update for you. They were up 6-1 on Oklahoma. Very big softball powerhouse. They proceeded to give up 6 home runs in the final 2 innings. As they're still looking at Zach Padgett, they're going to get the card over there. As Padgett's come to his feet over on the far side. We're not going to zoom in just a whole lot. So they're going to take a look at him. Nathan Kreiner's over checking on him. He's up to his feet. They're going to help him over to the medical cart. Don't want to speculate what's happening. I believe I really don't know who the backup keeper is. His goalie jersey is 29. That's Raiden Cunningham. Just going based off of the number, trying to find out who our backup goalie is. It's the first time that Zach Padgett will not be in the net for the Bombers this year. I believe it's Raiden Cunningham who will come into goal for Mountain Home. Him and Shep Martin, the backup goalies for Mountain Home. So 15:21 remaining in this first half. Greenwood has taken the lead as they're going to move Zach Padgett back to the Mountain Home sideline. As actually it looks like that might be Zane Durack that's going to go in goal for Mountain Home. It's a very unique situation. You know, you have plans like this, but Zane Durack has played goalie for Mountain Home, so he's going to move from the midfield to the net for Mountain Home. I believe it's Zach Padgett. It looks like him. There he comes running in. Yep, that's Zach Padgett. Had to zoom in just to see. So he's going to move to the net from the field. He's a very good goalie. He has started a few matches for Mountain Home in net. Not this year. Zach Padgett's been a very good goalie for the Bombers. As we'll resume play, they allowed the stoppage to continue, not only to move Zach Padgett from his spot, but to also allow for the uniform change, because you can't just wear your white uniform that matches everyone else when you're in goal. The goalies have to have uniforms that differ in color from both teams and the officials. So Mountain Home will need 2 goals now. They will need an outright win to make it to the state playoffs, as this is going to roll the Greenwood keeper. So the already shorthanded Bombers become even more shorthanded, as they are without Jake Brewer today. They're without Jake Brewer and now Zach Padgett, 2 very important pieces. Here come the Bulldogs. Now bouncing back to the middle is Dirks Beauregard. Now they'll skip it to the far side. Here come the Bombers once again. The Bombers have had good opportunities. They just couldn't cash in like Greenwood has. Here goes back to the middle. It's going to bounce to the left of the net, and it'll be a goal kick for the Bulldogs. Substitution coming in. Sorry, I had my names mixed up. It is now Zane Dirac in net. I was trying to see who it was. They had Raiden Cunningham getting ready, but then they called an audible and put Zane Dirac in net for the Bombers. They do have a few options at goalie, but Zane Dirac is the one with the most experience in net. Shep Martin's also gotten some varsity time, as this will go to Mountain Home. Mountain Home looking to counter right now. It comes down to Matlock, as it'll be an infraction and go back to Greenwood immediately. We have an update from the City of Light over in Van Buren. The Pointers have taken a 1-0 lead over the Farmington Cardinals. So if that score holds and Mountain Home is able to mount a comeback, they would be in the 5A state playoffs. Now, that was the intriguing game of all this. You know, Mountain Home's been on a winning streak. As clock stopped at 12:59, the official is going to have a little powwow with Dirks Beauregard. Free kicks away. Good job by Mountain Home to block that one. It bounced straight in the air. Caleb Daniel booted it down. Here comes Mountain Home on the counter with 12:45 to go in the first half. As it's going to have a little backspin on it. Daniel's going to boot it around. Now backwards, back to Austin Lunnan. Lunnan back to the middle to Pepe Leonhardt. The big, tall German. This will go out of play. Stay with Mountain Home for a throw-in. Matlock will throw in. 12:16 to go. Mountain Home trying to find an equalizer before halftime. Make this a brand new game. Ball being shielded. It stays in play. Well, the official called it out. The official on the sideline said it was out. The center official finally whistled it out of play. We'll have a substitution for the Bulldogs. 11:36 to go here. In this first half of action, Greenwood has the only goal of the game. Comes Greenwood once again. Trying to find some open space. Bisdell's going to shield that forward for Greenwood away from the ball. And it'll be a harmless goal kick for Mountain Home. Again, new goalie Zane Dirac. Ten and a half minutes to go. A lot of contact. A Bulldog falls down. Mountain Home will keep possession. Matlock back this way to Lunnan. Bounces out of play. Another throw in for the Bombers. This is booted away. It's settled down now by Mountain Home. It's going to go back to Greenwood and bounce past the 40. Going to roll and roll and roll and end up being a throw in for Mountain Home. 10 minutes to go here in this first half of action. Greenwood with 10 shots on goal already, according to the scoreboard here at the stadium. Know how accurate that is, as Mountain Home has none. I know of two at least. It's trying a centering pass. It's going to go off the back of the net and be a goal kick for Mountain Home, or excuse me, for Greenwood. 9.5 minutes to go in the first half. 1-0 Greenwood. This one's away. Doesn't really come down to anybody. Now it comes down to Greenwood. I'll skip it back this way. Here they come again in space. Jacob Bisdol doing a great job defending this one, shielding it out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Mountain Home. They will have the senior night festivities here in Greenwood between the games, so there'll be a hefty delay. I say a hefty delay. At least the 10-minute warm-up and however long it takes to get through all the seniors. Here comes Greenwood once again. Austin Gray with it. There's a lot of contact as it'll be a free kick. Thought there would be displacement called there, but started to wonder. I'm inside over here, high atop Smith Robinson Stadium. We're in one of their broadcast booths, so apologize if there's a glare as we get later into the evening. We are inside, so free kicks away. It's going to bounce to the 30, come down to Caleb Daniel. Here's Daniel weaving through traffic, trying to find a hole in this Greenwood defense. Oh, a miscue for Greenwood as they stop it once again. They gave it up right in the middle of the 18-yard box. And here comes Greenwood again. Now Mountain Home corrals it. Biz is going to send it to Dirks Beauregard. Dirk's going to make a move, make a man miss. Skipping in front of the field, Caleb Daniel had nobody there when he passed it. Now Cannon Matlock steps in front of one. They'll come back this way to Austin Lunnan. Lunnan now, weaving through traffic. He has a lane, trying to find someone to cross it to. So it goes back to the middle. It's going to skip out of play. Be a throw-in for Mountain Home. 6:53 to go in this first half. Greenwood with the lead and the only goal of the game so far. Still looking at Zach Padgett on the sideline. He's back on the bench. They took a look at him, so we'll see what happens here in the second half of action. Mountain Home with a good opportunity here. 6:20 to go. They're just going to skip it into Beauregard. Now back to Daniel. Daniel's going to put it in front of the net. Pepe couldn't get to it. Now launching in front of the 18-yard box. Here's Mountain Home, but Greenwood swarming defensively. He's going to come up with the ball, and then we'll go on the counterattack. So again, the top three seeds from the 5A West that will play in the 5A state tournament are decided and set. Russellville be the number one seed out of the 5A West. They have not lost a match. They have not even tied a match this year. They will be number one. Siloam Springs number two. The number 3 seed, a couple games behind, is Van Buren, but the number 4 seed still to be determined. It will either be occupied by Farmington or Mountain Home. If Mountain Home were to win and Farmington were to lose, then Mountain Home would be that 4 seed. If Mountain Home and Farmington both win, then that 4 seed would be Farmington. If Mountain Home loses, then the 4 seed would be Farmington. So only one way for the Bombers to get into the state tournament will be to find a way to win this one. That would be a good start. .454 to go in this first half. Greenwood taking their time, getting ready for this corner kick. Scoreboard says 10 shots on goal. I don't buy that. Greenwood's had some chances, but not that many. Official giving instructions to Mountain Home. Corners away. It's going to go to the far side of the 18-yard box. A lot of contact, some displacement, but the official will let it play on. As Mountain Home had the advantage, it'll go out of play and go back to Greenwood. This one will arc high in the air, come down to Greenwood as it's booted through the end zone. And it'll be a goal kick for Mountain Home with 3:36 to go in the first half. They've reached halftime in Van Buren. They've now moved ahead of us. Van Buren leading 1-0 over Farmington into the halftime break. Daniel's going to settle it down. Again, Greenwood defense just swarming everything. Although Mountain Home has had some opportunities so far today. Under 3 to go here in Greenwood in the first half. First game of the day, actually second game of the day. Junior varsity boys won 1-0, their final match of the year. Lady Bombers will play after this one. They will not be in the state tournament. They needed a win yesterday by 2 goals and a win today. They came up on the short side yesterday against Shiloh Christian. Ball will sail out of play and be a free kick for the Bombers. Here it comes. It's going to go down past the scalp of Dirks Beauregard. There they come. Jonathan Hernandez will settle this one down. Back to Beauregard, now back to the far side. Couldn't tell who that was, a little far away. Matlock with it now, sprinting down the sideline. He's hounded by a Bulldog. This is skipped back to the middle to Beauregard. Greenwood comes up with it. They'll skip it down the field. Sprinting after it was Hernandez, but Greenwood got to it first, but it will go out of play, last touched by the Bulldogs. Mountain Home throwing in. Here's Jacob Bisdell. Let's see what Biz has got right here. Come the Bombers. A good job by Meade to skip past one defender. Now he's coming back to the middle. It's going to be sent back to the middle. Now skied in the air. Will bounce just past the 25 on the football field and settled down by Christian Kreider, I believe. Fresh into the game. Caleb Daniel now. Weaving through traffic. Again, it just looks like Greenwood's playing with 15 dudes on the field. Very well-rounded soccer team here. Half a minute to play here in the first half. Greenwood up 1-0. Here's the throw-in. It's going to come down to Bisdell. Mountain Home looks like they're going to head to halftime down 1-0. Well, Greenwood has a chance to extend that lead as Austin Gray knocked it around. Beauregard's going to settle it down to 10 seconds, and I think we're going to head to the half. Last chance here. That's going to do it for the first half. So Mountain Home, as the whistle's still not blown, and finally has. The buzzer didn't go off, but the official saw the scoreboard. We will head to the halftime break. Mountain Home needing to get a win here to keep their hopes of going to the state playoffs alive. As we've reached halftime here in Greenwood. Glad you're here with us on the Bomber Sports Network. We're going to take a short little break. We'll be back with more Bomber Soccer for you in just a few minutes. This is Bomber Soccer on the Bomber Sports Network. Well, we're back here in Greenwood, ready to get the second half rolling. Greenwood's going to move from right to left in front of you now. Mountain Home left to right, so we're waiting to see what it looked like out of halftime. Zane Dirac will go back in goal for Mountain Home. As the Bombers find themselves trailing 1-0 here in a game they need to win, and Farmington would need to lose to Van Buren, and they would make the state playoffs. A tie would do Mountain Home no good. The official ready to go, setting his watch, synchronizing with the game clock, checking to see if both sides have 11 on the field. As the official winds his arm, we're ready to go. The second half is underway here from Greenwood. A high booming kick went about 60 yards in the air, and it's a goal kick already for Mountain Home. So Van Buren Farmington, they're 6 minutes into the second half of that one. Van Buren has another goal. They lead 2-0 over the Cardinals. It will either be Mountain Home or Van Buren that will occupy that 4 seed next week in the 5A state playoffs. Yeah, Mountain Home a little short-handed. Jake Brewer not here today. And starting goalkeeper for every match this year in conference play, Zach Paget is out with injury right now, as whistle and a goal kick will go out of play. Bisdell got tripped up near their track and field pit over there. Goal kick coming for the Bombers. They will need a win and a little bit of help if they wish to make it to next week and play. There's already one team in the state playoffs. Softball will play next week. We're still trying to figure out the time of that one. There is a chance that they're scheduled to play at 10 a.m. against Benton. That is likely to change from what I've heard. I think AAA likes to do, they like to move things around for schools having graduation that evening, so they would switch our early game with someone else so they can make everyone happy. It is grad season. Here come the Bombers now, marching down the field. Caleb Daniel weaving through traffic. He's going to go to the far side, try to find someone to cross it to. Couldn't. Hernandez is down with it now as he's knocked in the back, as official says play on. Bombers back with it again. Here's Dirks Beauregard. Now down to Hernandez. Hernandez weaving through traffic. Here they come. He's knocked down in the box. Nothing doing. Wow, it's skipped in danger. Here comes Mountain Home with a shot. It's going to go wide of the goal, but picked up by the keeper. .37-16 left to go in this match. As Bisdell had the soccer ball, he was knocked down from behind. Be a free kick for Mountain Home at about the 48-yard line on the American football field. Kicks away. It's going to go down in front of the 18-yard box, but swallowed up by the keeper. Greenwood's content with this 1-goal lead right now. They haven't really changed their intensity attacking-wise. It's kind of been the same. It's just they were able to cash in one more opportunity than Mountain Home was. As we have a substitution right in front of the Greenwood bench. This is Cannon Matlock. Tossing down for position as Dirac's just going to bat it down with two hands. He's going to punt this one away. High booming punt. Here's Jonathan Hernandez on the run. Here he goes along the sideline. He is going to have it knocked out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick for Greenwood. Good job by the defense of the Bulldogs to bat that one away. And I mentioned earlier about that state softball game getting moved potentially. Then that's all. There's always the potential for that, but since we're playing the host team, they're more likely to do that to help another school that might be having their graduation Thursday evening. For instance, I believe if things stay the same Thursday, they would do the same for us Friday. I think we would move to the early game to help with our graduation. They come to the far side. Mountain Home having a good chance here. It's going to go just to the side of the net. So that's always a normal occurrence for state. I think the same thing would happen with soccer. AAA tries to work with schools for graduation, at least for the state tournament. State finals, it's more difficult. But, yeah, we'll have more information about that. Our coach is over there. We'll send it out. We'll send it out. You'll know when we know. So Benton is, of course, the host team. That one should be good. Mountain Home came up short here in Greenwood just yesterday. It was a good, hard-fought game. Greenwood finishing, I believe, at the top of the conference. Mountain Home with a 3-2 loss. I know they've had some losses lately, but they've shown good flashes. Give you hope for the state tournament. Or you make it to state, anything can happen. Here's Matlock. Now to the far side to Meade. Back to Matlock. Mountain Home trying to find at least an equalizing goal, and they'll work from there as Pepe Leonhardt misjudged where the bomber on the far side was. .32 left in this match. Leonhardt will settle it down and give it to Beauregard right next to him. Job by this Greenwood defender to shield Beauregard. Beauregard comes up with it. Here comes Hernandez as he's going to weave through traffic. Mountain Home with a good attack right now. Tried to cross from his right to his left. Leonhardt asking for a foul. They won't get one. It's going to be launched toward the net. The wind's going to bring it down, but it's going to launch over the net through the football goalpost. Be another goal kick for the Bulldogs. Greenwood taking their sweet time. This goal kick, you're allowed. There's not really a time limit, but it has to be within reason. You can't waste a minute's worth of time on that. You have to get sort of pretty quick. Once it gets under 5 minutes, they start to stop the clock for that. So soccer's weird about its timing. It's 40 continuous minutes unless there's a foul that requires a card. There's a goal or an injury. So it's not like basketball or football where ball goes out of bounds, clock stops. Get a first down, the clock stops. Greenwood with a free kick here. It's inside the football coach's box. And here it comes. High spiraling kick. Bisdell knocked it down. Goes right to a Bulldog. Now Mountain Home trying to clear it out, and they do. Here comes Mountain Home on the counterattack. They have a little bit of space here. Jonathan Hernandez tried to get it, but couldn't settle it down. Bisdell with it. 30 minutes to go. We're 10 minutes into this second half. That's Kurt Drury watching at home. Can't wait to hear about the first place Chicago Cubs. I don't know how much longer that'll last. Their closer Ryan Presley, about as good as I would be the other night. He got as many outs recorded in a save situation. Actually, it wasn't a save situation, but in his appearance than I did. So I gave up 8 less runs than he did. Here comes Greenwood. Mountain Home swallowing this one up. It'll go out of play, but stay with Greenwood. Kurt Drury's going to join on the call there down in beautiful Benton. If you hadn't been to their baseball softball facility, it has hosted the state finals before. So it's a very worthy facility, to say the least. Benton's been a softball powerhouse for a fairly decent amount of time, at least the last 5 years. I don't know much further behind that. This is batted around. Mountain Home trying to get this one out of harm's way, and they hit a little bit more space. Back to the 30. Bisdell boots this one. A good job to clear that one out by Bisdell. Now Mountain Home, I didn't see that Bulldog that was there. He blended into the coach's box. It was settled down. Now Mountain Home trying to secure this one. 28.5 to go here on the Bomber Sports Network. As this one will get knocked down out of play. 24 minutes to go over in Van Buren, just up the road. Farmington down 2-0. If that score holds and Mountain Home's able to mount a comeback, we will have boys soccer in the state tournament, as Greenwood wanting a handball. Nobody saw it. I saw it. But the important people didn't see it. There's a whole lot of contact here. Whoa, excellent move to get past 2 defenders there, as Durack scoops this one up. I mentioned earlier Kurt's going to help us out. He's helped us out. I think we've had pretty close to every softball game live streamed on the Bomber Sports Network. We missed everything in Nashville, and there was one other game I can't remember off the top of my head in conference that we weren't able to get. But we're thankful for people like him, great parents and community members, that even if it's just on an iPad, that's good enough for a lot of people. Good enough for me, as long as I can see the scoreboard and kind of see what's going on, I'm good. I'm very good. Once you get to sports like that, you want to make sure everyone can see as much as they can, and I don't think we've missed more than a handful of events that have been streamed. Just off the top of my head, here's a free kick for Greenwood. Mountain Home trying to clear this one out, trying to keep this a 1-0 game. It's going to go down to the crown of a Bomber and go out of play and be a corner kick. We missed a couple conference baseball games because Farmington and Alma do not stream them. Greenwood does. They're thankful for them sharing their feed with us. Soccer, every team has a huddle focus. It's a big robot cam we use to stream our home games. They have that. Also good enough. It's got the score. See what's going on and clear 1080p picture. As it's cleared out, it's actually going to be, that was Ethan Clark tried to kick it out. It went off the heel of Tate Bayless out of bounds, and it'll be another corner kick for Greenwood. Greenwood trying to get to a 2-goal lead, although they do say that 2-0 is the worst lead in soccer. I've seen more 2-0 leads blown than any other lead I could think of, as it's going to go out of play, and we'll see who was last touched by. It's going to stay with Greenwood. On the corner kick, we'll have a substitution. you'll start to see a lot of teams, not just Greenwood, everyone does this, but if you're holding on to a lead, you're going to see a lot of substitutions. You're going to take your time getting the loose ball for a free kick or a corner kick or a goal kick. Try to burn as much clock as you can, because remember, it runs constantly unless the official deems there's been too much time wasted or there's a goal or an injury or a yellow or red card has to be assessed. 25 minutes to go now. Greenwood's ramped up the attack. We've spent a lot of time in their third of the field. Here's the free kick. Going to go to the far side of the 18-yard box. It came down to the skull of Beauregard, and it will go out of play. Stay with Greenwood. Mount Home just cannot get possession of this one. Comes the free kick, or the throw-in, excuse me. But they had the ball lined up as it's kicked straight in the air by Caleb Daniel. It's going to come down to Greenwood, but Beauregard gets a skull on this one, using the crown of his head to bat it around. As Daniel knocked it away, it went off of the Greenwood forward. And Greenwood's had it for the last couple minutes in their own third of the field. This is launched toward the net. It's going to go over the net. A lot of people thinking it was a goal in the stadium because they saw the net move. So Mountain Home able to skip out of danger there as they're trying to tie this one up and figure out how to get a lead. Here it comes back this way. 23 minutes to go. A whistle, and they're going to call an infraction against Greenwood. Little too much contact there, and free kick for Mountain Home. So just double check the standings. Just looking at everything, I believe Mountain Home or Farmington could be the only ones to occupy that 4 seed. Harrison has the same record as Farmington. Now that I think about it, I think they could occupy it. Mountain Home at 12 points, Harrison at 12 points, Farmington at 15. So it will all depend on that tiebreaker and what Harrison does. I believe Harrison's at Russellville this evening. Russellville, the undefeated conference champion. Plus 62 this season in goal differential, an absolutely insane number. Beating their opponents by an average of 5 goals each match. That's simply just stunning. Performance this year. Farmington actually does not have the tiebreaker over Harrison, so if Harrison has that upset, then they would be the 4 seed. 21-25 to go in this one. Greenwood with a 1-0 lead. They scored in the 25th minute of the first half. We already have softball in the state tournament. Well, we have boys soccer in it. Here's Leonhardt down the sideline. The big lanky German is going to go around 2 Bulldog defenders. Tried to center this one as it's going to come down to a Bulldog. Now Mountain Home will corral this one and center it back to Beauregard. Mountain Home needed a pair of goals late against Farmington to escape with a victory there. A wild goal with 2 seconds remaining gave them the lead. 20:20 to go. Here's Mountain Home again. Caleb Daniels sprinting down the side. Going to go back to his right, try to center it. Was batted down by Greenwood. It's going to go in front of the net. Here's Mountain Home. That was Cannon Matlock, who had a good open left side of the net. And Greenwood escapes danger there, and it'll be a goal kick. Mount Home needing a goal and needing it quick. We'll start with one, but we need two, at least. Leonhardt now. Wide open turf in front of him. Now he's swallowed up by three Bulldogs. Skips through three Bulldogs. Looking for someone to cross it to. It couldn't come down to a bomber. Now it will, as Greenwood's defense just swallowing things up. Be a throw-in for Mountain Home. Dirac boots this one away. A good kick. It's going to bounce right at the 50-yard line. Down to Caleb Daniel. Daniel couldn't get past that defender. He's going to slide tackle and hit it out of bounds. It'll go to Greenwood on the throw-in. More substitutions for Greenwood. Here's Meade. They tried to get it to Hernandez. Greenwood broke it up. Greenwood's defense pretty good. I think you could say that pretty much in every sport. Matlock now. He will bring it to this side to Caleb Daniel. Daniel's logged a lot of miles today on those legs. Here he comes again. Tried to skip it in, and it's going to be swallowed up by the keeper. 17:08 to go in the match. High booming kick. Austin Gray tried to wrestle around a Greenwood defender. He couldn't to get to it. Now Greenwood has possession. Greenwood's on the attack now. Coach Kreiner did mention that Greenwood's forwards can really play. Look at Jacob Bisdell break that one up. Now he's sprinting down the field. Leonhardt now. Pepe got tripped up. And Greenwood comes up with the ball. Booting it back this way, settled down by Lunnan. Good through ball to Daniel. Daniel's going to be booted out of play along with the ball. Be a throw in for Greenwood. Under 16 to go. They're 5 minutes ahead of us. Over in Van Buren, still 2-0 Pointers. Van Buren already the number 3 seed. Out of the 5A West, Siloam Springs the 2 seed. Russellville's locked up the 1 seed. Russellville probably is the best boys soccer team I've seen in a while. Probably outside of last year's Russellville boys team. Throwing for the Bombers now in their third of the field. It's thrown in to the middle of the 18-yard box. It'll go out of play. Bounce on the blue track of Greenwood. Speaking of track, congratulations to our 5A state champion in boys track and field, Mountain Home Bombers. As look here, we'll have a corner kick right now. To put it nicely, it was not particularly close. Mountain Home finished with 120 points, nearly double the amount of the state runner-up. You can get up to 10 points per event. You can get as little as 1 or even 0. And Mountain Home won 7 different events. Here's a good through ball. It's going to come down to the middle of the box. Beauregard will settle it down. That wasn't Beauregard. That was Scallion. Coming back this way. In pursuit of it now, here's Greenwood. They have 2 Bombers around that forward. Dirac wisely staying close to his net. He didn't try to go pursuit this one. 14 minutes to go. Is it 14 minutes in just this match or 14 minutes in Mountain Home's season? Mountain Home will need to at least have a win as they're going to stop the clock, as the clock's still not stopped. Still not stopped. They're supposed to stop it. It's at 13:44. They're going to put some time back on as Van Buren has scored again. So they're going to reset it to 14:10. Coach Tyler Woods on the phone with the press box crew. As we're going to have another goalie change. They're going to move Zane Dirac to the midfield here. Trying to see who this is. As when he's ready to come in, it's going to be Raiden Cunningham. So while we have this stoppage, Dirac will come out of the net and switch back to his white jersey. It's a very good move for Mountain Home here with the clock stopped. They're able to change out their goalies and put Dirac back in the midfield. Try to launch one more, well, at least one attack to get a tying goal on the board. As the official will allow them to, or well, actually we're going to resume. It's going to go wide of the net for a goal kick. So Dirac's going to throw on his jersey real quick. Corner kick for Greenwood, actually. I thought it got tipped, but Dirac's ready to come in along with Jonathan Hernandez. Here's the corner. It's going to be booted in front of the net. It's going to be a goal kick for Mountain Home, last touched by Greenwood. So Zane Dirac comes in. Raiden Cunningham will be the goalie for Mountain Home for the duration. Mountain Home going on the offensive now. Dirac did a good job to help keep this a 1-0 game. Comes Mountain Home. Jonathan Hernandez has it now. Here he comes weaving through traffic, and it's booted away. It's going to come down to Caleb Daniel, who's moved a little further back in the formation. Daniel now comes down to Bisdell. They've shook up a lot of their formation. This is going towards the net. It's scooped up by Greenwood's keeper. 12:15 to go. going to bounce down to Dirac, who's fresh back into the game in the midfield. Oh, here it comes. It's a header that's going to go into the goal. And that's a goal for the Bulldogs. It will make it 2-0. And that might be the nail in the coffin for Mountain Home's season, unless something miraculous happens in the final 11:55 of this one. Stranger things have happened, though. They say that 2-0's the worst lead in soccer. Official waving his arm. We're ready to resume. Mountain Home already sprinting on the attack. They'll need at least 3 goals in the final 12 minutes to extend their season or have a chance to extend their season. Farmington's on the board over in Van Buren. It's 3-1 Van Buren. So if that score holds and Mountain Home launches a comeback, they would be in the state playoffs, but everything holds right now. Mountain Home would miss the playoffs, and Farmington will be the 4 seed. As Bisdell's tripped up, it'll be a free kick. They're wanting to go pretty quickly. It'll be on the S and the Farmers logo on the field. Official's going to walk off 10 yards to back up the wall for Greenwood. Bisdell ready to go. One of the better free kick takers for Mountain Home. And it's saved by the keeper of Greenwood. Good crowd on hand today. Both, not only the Greenwood faithful, a lot of Mountain Home people have made this trip. Here's Greenwood again, trying to launch a good stop by Kreider. Christian Kreider, the 3rd goalie that's come in for Mountain Home today. 10 minutes to go in this one. $9:50 to go. Here's Jonathan Hernandez. Lost the ball. Now it's going to go back to the middle. To Leonhardt now. Mountain Home trying to get one across. With 9:20 to go. Let's go out of play and be a goal kick for Mountain Home. Under 9 minutes to go now. Greenwood with a 2-0 lead. First time these two teams met, Mountain Home scored a goal to start things off and then gave up 2. All 3 of those goals scored in the first 9 minutes and 15 seconds. That was the only scoring of the game. First goal of this one was in the 25-minute mark. Here's Jonathan Hernandez in front of the net. This one will stay in play. Scooped by the keeper. It'll come down to Beauregard, so Mountain Home still on the attack here in their own 3rd. Here it comes back to the middle. Couldn't come down to a white jersey. 7:20 to go. Greenwood with a throw-in now. We'll have a substitution for both sides. Inside the last 5 minutes, the official can stop the clock if he so pleases. If they think that's either team is using a delay tactic. Here it comes. Goes back to this side. They tried to get it to Meade. Meade now settles it down. Now back to Bisdell. Bisdell got tripped up. And it'll be a free kick. Mountain Home in a hurry to take this one. It's going to be outside the 20. Here comes Bisdell. Here it is over toward the net as it's going to be punted out of the air. Punched out of the air by the goalie. Good job to save that one, but it is a corner kick for the Bombers. Mountain Home moving with haste here. The kick's away. It's going to go in front of the net. A header. It's going to launch over the goalpost. Out of play. And it will be a goal kick for Greenwood. Just made an announcement in the building. It is senior night. Have senior parents are going to work their way down for this for the senior night festivities. Well, it's final in Van Buren. Van Buren wins 3-1. If everything holds now in this one, Van Buren would be the 3. Farmington would be the 4 seed in the 5A state playoffs. Mountain Home would miss the show. 5.5 to go here. A tie would do no good for Mountain Home, and pretty much only a win would. Free kick coming for the Bulldogs. Lady Bombers getting warmed up in the left end zone. Getting ready for their final game of the year. Final game for both teams. As this one's launched toward the net, Kreider picks it up. Good save by him. And he'll send this one down the field. It's a low arcing kick. Here's Dirac. Austin Gray now. Gray skipping it ahead. Mountain Home will not get to this one. It'll be kicked out of play. Throw-in on the sideline for the Bulldogs. Out of contact, Bisdell got knocked down as it will be a goal kick for Greenwood with 4:10 to go. Kicks away. Down to Austin Gray. Scallion with it, skips to the middle. On home with a good chance here. Here comes Bisdell in the 18-yard box. It's knocked away. .320 to go. This is swallowed up with 3:10 to go. Greenwood just content to take this 2-0 W to the house. This bounces out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home. Caleb Daniel. Down to Jan. Jan's going to boot it high in the air. Austin Gray boots it out of play. You know, with still time in this game, I think Nathan Kreiner's going to, I think he's going to wave the white flag here and put some subs in. As he's given the sideline official an earful, not letting the substitutions in. As looks like Greenwood is onside here. As it's launched toward the net. Kreider knocks it down. Good job by Christian Kreider on that one. Nathan's giving him an earful on the far sideline. As a whistle and offsides is called. As now substitutions will come in. It should be. This is Cannon Matlock and Gavin Tate will come in. A few more have made their way over. Ethan Clark and there's one more over there. I can't get a good look. It's Alan Gasparini, one of the 8 players leaving this program after tonight. As it looks like Greenwood will get to a 2-0 win this evening. .50 seconds to go in this one. Bisdell launching toward the net. It's going to go wide of the net. Be a goal kick for Greenwood. You know, you lose 8 great pieces. Jonathan Hernandez, Cannon Matlock, Zane Durack, Ethan Clark, Connor Chisenhall, Austin Gray, Alan Gasparini, and Pepe Leonhardt. Leave 6 seniors and 2 exchange students. Will be leaving the program after this year, but Mountain Home will have a lot coming back. They'll have great pieces like Zach Padgett, Caleb Daniel, Jake Brewer, Austin Lunnan, Jacob Bisdell. As that's going to do it here from Greenwood. A lot of good pieces coming back from Mountain Home, but this season is over for the Bombers soccer team. They lose this one by the final score of 2-0 here this afternoon from Smith Robinson Stadium. So Lady Bombers will begin, well, actually they won't begin warming up. They'll have the senior night festivities. So Bomber soccer will finish 3 points out of a playoff spot this season. It was just a heck of a run just to get it that close. They were in last place 1 month ago today, and they went on a crazy run. They defeated a lot of teams that defeated them, and I think the big result that they had in this second half of conference was they tied Siloam Springs, 0-0. That was an excellent played or a well-played game for Mountain Home. But again, there are 8 students leaving the program after this year, whether they're leaving as they're exchange students or they're seniors. That's Pepe Leonhardt, Alan Gasparini, Austin Gray, Connor Chisenhall, Ethan Clark, Zane Durack. Man, he's been fun to watch. Cannon Matlock and Jonathan Hernandez. These seniors made 2 trips to the state playoffs. They will not have a third one. So that will do it from Greenwood for our boys soccer match. They will lose 2-0 this evening. That will do it for the season. Farmington will occupy the number 4 seed. Van Buren will be 3rd, Siloam Springs 2nd, and Russellville has run the table. They've gone a perfect 14-0 here in the 5A West. So we'll take a short little break. The Lady Bombers are getting ready to get going here. They're going to have the senior night festivities here in a couple minutes. Don't know how long that'll take. Then there'll be 10 minutes of warm-up. Again, your final score, Greenwood wins this one 2-0. Mountain Home season is over. They will have the Lady Bomber soccer game for you in just a few minutes here on the Bomber Sports Network. Back here at Smith Robinson Stadium. Brett Coleman's here finally. Did you stop at Wright's or somewhere?
We did.
Yeah? What'd you have?
We stopped in Fort Smith at a place called Los Americana.
Ooh, what do they have there?
Southeastern Hispanic Mexican food. It was good.
Okay, that's good. That's a short little trip over here. There's no shortage of places to eat. We're talking, this is Witten's last game.
Yeah, last game.
A lot of our seniors, this is the last game for the Lady Bombers. They needed a win yesterday by 2 goals and a win today to make it in. And they came up short in that very dry soccer game we had yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
I've never seen it rain that hard for a sporting event.
It rained really hard, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was. I asked the girls afterwards. I said, "Did y'all have fun?" They're like, "That was awesome. We loved it." So it's kind of fun getting out there and being able to get out and play in the rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun to watch. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, it left us with this game not meaning a whole lot for the Lady Bombers. If they could have won that game by a couple goals, would have had a chance to get into the state playoffs. But since they lost that game, this game and Greenwood they're both out of it, correct, Deacon?
Yep. Yeah, Greenwood's going to finish like 7th. The other thing that stinks is, I think, if Shiloh Christian doesn't move in with the competitive balance factor, I think Mountain Home's that 4. But it was uphill anyway because you had Shiloh Christian, who's going to be the 4 seed, who's a defending state champion going into state. So this is a really good girls conference. And me and Coach King and just a few others talking, there were going to be 2 really good girls teams that weren't going to make state. It's kind of like the basketball conference. You had 1 or 2 really good teams that could have competed at the top of another conference that finished 5th and 6th in this one.
Yeah, I tell you though, man, Coach King has done such an excellent job with this girls program over the last few years. You see, just like now, we've had the ball so far, and we've had it on Greenwood's side pretty much this whole start to this game. And that's what this team does. They like to push the ball forward. They go in there. They try to get goals. They have made teams work against them as they put a lot of pressure on some of these. But you've got girls now finally that are soccer players. The last few years you've had girls that didn't play a lot of soccer growing up. Coach King kind of recruited them, and they were trying to figure out soccer. Now you've got girls that can play soccer.
The thing, Mountain Home, Kelsey Blackwell's got a good chance right here outside the 18-yard box. She'll say that's Witten over there.
Yeah, Witten got a good pass into Kelsey there, and they've one thing they've changed. They kind of moved Witten to that midfielder spot to try to win some of those balls, one-on-one balls with some players, and try to kick it ahead to Bella and to Kelsey up there, who are more your scorers. Witten's not very finesse-like when it comes to handling the ball.
She's not really finessing really anything that she plays. One thing I noticed yesterday, she was dog tired at the end of yesterday. If Witten Coleman's tired,
it's a lot of running.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So we're 2.5 minutes into this one. Still no score here. Mountain Home they really had one good opportunity there to start out, but Mountain Home's going to lose a ton of seniors, it looks like, but they'll have good pieces coming back next year.
Yeah, they got a really good young core. There's a lot of sophomores. Right here, number 12 that's got the ball right now. She's fantastic.
Kinley Reynolds.
Yeah. Is she a sophomore, right?
She's a sophomore.
Yeah, man.
Kaylee Simmons can play. Both the Medleys are back. Nikita, they lost to knee injury. They'll have her back. That's the other thing is Mountain Home had 3 girls out with injuries that ended their season.
Yeah.
And a 4th one that just fought through an ACL tear that braced it up. So that's another thing that they were missing. They had just pieces missing.
Yeah, they did, and had some key injuries there. Kenna Medley, she's one that's in the backfield. You'll see her out there with the knee brace on. When she tore her ACL, went down early, it was a big change. And then Nikita going out, and I think she tore her ACL as well. But she was a huge defender. But here you go, Kiki with a nice little save for the Lady Bombers, and she's a freshman back there and the goalkeeper, and just getting better every game.
It's just, again, it's just a real competitive girls conference, top to bottom. I mean, the top 2 were kind of far and away from everyone. Russellville and Siloam were kind of a step ahead of everyone. Then Shiloh Christian was kind of in that next tier along with Harrison, where, if you were a bottom 4 or 5 team, you could pick them off and try to make up the gap. Mountain Home did that. They picked off a Harrison. They beat them, was it about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
2-1. It was an awesome game.
And then they played Shiloh at Shiloh a couple weeks ago. That was tied to the last 10 minutes. So hate to say they left meat on the bone, but I mean, there were some points out there. They had a lead against Harrison at home, 1-0 the last 15 minutes. But it wasn't because of lack of effort. It's just you're playing really good teams every night.
Yeah, last time we played Greenwood, nice kick ahead for Witten as Bella's going to get it on the run out over there. But last Greenwood game at Mountain Home, we at least could have got a tie out of that and ended up giving up a pretty soft goal late to let Greenwood take the 2-1 win. But once again, Coach King doing an excellent job as he's building this program. Got a lot of freshmen that are out there playing. They do a great job getting JV games. And so that just gives you time to get out and kind of learn how to handle the ball a little bit.
Yeah, there are a lot of times, I know before, not last year, but the year before, they didn't even have enough to field a JV team. Now they have a lot of kids, kind of like what the boys program does. You just have a ton of kids that are on the roster, and you find JV games for them and just let those kids play.
Yep. And like I said, Nikita going out was definitely a big blow to this Lady Bomber team. She was big in that defensive side of things and had a big leg as Kelsey's trying to get the ball ahead. Take a little contact in the box. I don't know if they're going to call it.
I think they did call it. Outside of the box, I think.
Just outside, yeah. So for non-soccer people like me that had to learn this game, if there's a penalty inside the box, you get a penalty kick. That box is the goalie box that's out there. I did learn this too, Decon. The little horseshoe shape that's out there, that's on penalty kicks. Players have to stay behind that. But this is as good a scoring opportunity as Mountain Home can ask for, a free kick, since it did happen outside the box. And I tell you, Jocelyn, she is fantastic at these.
The Lady Bombers are lined up. The wall of Greenwood's 10 yards away from the ball where they're supposed to be.
I watched Jocelyn put one in the middle and Witten get a goal against to beat Harrison, honestly. Just like this, about that 10 to 12-yard line. Nice little play there by Mountain Home is, once you kick that ball in, Lauren.
In play.
Yeah, they thought Jocelyn was going to come take that kick, and Lauren just kicked it over to Kendra Medley. Medley got a good foot on it, just outside wide of the goal.
Set pieces like that, you could compare it a lot to basketball. It's like, okay, why is this girl's a three-point shooter that's throwing it in? So, I think they're going to run something here. So, you could do a lot of things out of set pieces like that. You could just straight up kick it, or you can – our girls get more fancy than our boys do. They had one set piece yesterday. They had 3 girls run by it, and the last girl kicked it.
Kicked it in, yeah.
And I think they have little changes to it where it could be the second girl in line. It could be the first girl in line.
Nice kick ahead right there by Kinley Reynolds. That's what you do on that defensive side of things. That ball comes in, you just want to get it back down on the other side and see if we can't mix it up and get a run out.
So Mountain Home's possessed the ball for a good chunk of these first 7 minutes. That's a big stat in college and professional soccer is time of possession. A lot like in football, but instead it's in a percentage. I'd say Mountain Home's possessed the ball 80% of the time in this match so far.
Oh, absolutely. And, that's what you do. Like I said, Mountain Home has done such a better job of that these last few years of putting the pressure on teams on the offensive side. When Witten started playing as a sophomore, we might have – how many's out there, 11? This shows how much I know about soccer. We might have had – but of the 10 that are on the field, we might have had 6 or 7 back on defense,
But you had to do that just to keep it close and keep your dudes up front. But now it's – the thing that was really big when they were winning state titles, here's Kelsey Blackwell. She's weaving through traffic.
Get a foot on it, Kelsey. Get a foot on it.
Trying to find someone to send it. She tried to cross it, but she had to get it back to Kendra Medley. Now Kelsey's going to weave through traffic. Let's go out of play. But, when the Lady Bombers they're still one of the best programs in Arkansas. They have 2 state titles, 4 state finals appearances. And back when they were just really good, they had girls on their bench that ended up being college soccer players. I think that's big.
Yeah, and you had a lot of girls who get it down in there. Get a foot on it, Kelsey. Get it on goal.
As it's batted away, Greenwood's going to try to clear it out. Actually, Rawls going to come up with it. Now
nice
it's on the net as Dotson tried to get a boot on it, but it was knocked away by Greenwood. Mountain Home's had 3 good opportunities so far. As
Rawls just got pummeled over there.
We'll have a whistle and an infraction. It'll be a free kick for Mountain Home. Lauren Rawls is another one that's she didn't grow up playing soccer. She joined a couple years ago, but she's become one of their better pieces.
Well, and she does a good job. She's kind of like Witten, Tay, I'd say. The problem with those girls is that when it comes time to really handle the ball, they're in the middle of basketball season.
Yeah.
They're on the Lady Bomber basketball team, so they don't those soft touches and those like little finesse moves. They're not quite got the handle on them. They kick it a little too far. But by the end of the season, that we progress because they get so much better. As Jocelyn's going to get a big foot on this one.
It's a good looking one. It's over the net. Good job by Jocelyn to get it close. That went under the football goal post, but over the soccer one. So that was as good as you could put it.
Yeah, she's kicking herself right now. She slaps her hands out there in the middle. So she's been a great addition to this Lady Bomber team, too. She moved in from Ohio. Her dad is the head of the Parks and Rec over there and does an excellent job of, I think it's the street department maybe that he handles it with. But her
it's
mom.
something important.
Yeah, mom works at the high school, the career and academies up there. And she's been a huge addition to the Lady Bombers as a competitor.
Greenwood, first time they've crossed the 50 in a little bit. Now Mountain Home gets it back as Hill's tripped up.
Good play by Abby Dettelbach there to knock that on the defensive side of things.
Blackwell knock it down. Now it's going to go the other way back to Greenwood.
And I'll tell you, Deacon, a lot of it's been happening. The reason Mountain Home's getting better, too, in girls soccer is there's a 3-on-3 summer league that takes place. And Jocelyn was one of them. Nikita was one of them. I think the Medley girls, they played on that team. They actually won some.
They won a national championship,
I believe so, yeah. I think they did really, really well. And so they're playing soccer year-round. And that's what you got to get. I think maybe I don't know if Kelsey was on there or not.
I think she was. I think she played a couple matches. But outside of football, every other sport, if you're playing it year round, you're going to get better. Football, there's not any travel football or AAU. The best you could do is just off season things like our boys are going through right now. But you have travel soccer, you have Legion baseball, U-Trip baseball, softball, AAU basketball. You have. And same thing with Junior Olympic volleyball. If you're playing year-round, you're just going to get better the more that you play, the more that you practice.
Yeah, I mean, we got Jayla's playing, Brooklyn's playing, Livy Fosness. They're all playing basketball right now.
They're playing AAU all over the country. Legion baseball is going to be starting here in a couple of weeks. As Blackwell's tripped up. There was contact, but it seemed incidental at best. But
Kelsey does a good job trying to get that call inside that box for us. She knows how to score on those penalty kicks, so she wants them. Kinley once again.
That's a unique thing. I wish they'd adopt this kind of rule in basketball where, if there's a shooting foul, you just pick whoever you want to shoot the free throw. You can have in this, if you're fouled in the 18-yard box, it's PK. Anybody on the field can take the PK. So it could be Witten get fouled in the box, and then Kelsey could come take the PK. That's another unique thing about soccer if this is your first time watching.
Get it in there, Kelsey. That's third shot on goal Mountain Homes had. Kendra Medley had one, Jocelyn had one, and now Kelsey. And we keep getting pressure like that. We're going to hit the back of that net for too long.
The thing that just stinks scheduling-wise, and there's not anything that we could do about it, but you play Shiloh Christian, who's a really good team. It's going to go to state, and then you play Greenwood, the two teams that you were chasing the last 2 weeks. You play them twice, or you play them back-to-back in a 40-hour span.
Yeah,
that's difficult in any sport, playing back-to-back. As we have an opportunity here in front of the net, the goalie gets a hand on it. It's batted away as Mountain Home's in pursuit once again. Jocelyn Hill.
Yeah, Jocelyn out there.
Jocelyn for position. As this will be a throw-in. It'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home.
So one thing on throw-ins, too, you got to keep that back foot on the ground. Watch Lauren. Lauren does an excellent job of dragging that toe. She's been called a couple times for it, but she gets everything she can on that, drags that toe
also
in there.
Has to be two-handed and across the crown of the head, as they say in the rule book. So the throw-in came down to a Mountain Home foot, but Greenwood comes up with it. Now they're on the counterattack. Greenwood hasn't been able to get it in their third of the field yet in this match, as we're 14 or 13 minutes and some change into this one.
I hope you didn't just jinx us, Decon.
It's a statement. It's different than saying, we hadn't missed a free throw all game, but it's a statement of fact, as there's a big collision in the middle of the field. Jocelyn Hill went down. She's popped back up, though.
How about props to that girl Witten? Way to jump in there and get that ball ahead.
You about to say our track team?
Yeah,
winning
track
yesterday?
team. How about props to our track team?
You try to be nice and you say, it was a good competitive meet. It really was.
No, they
made
won
it
by
look not competitive.
So last year they won the track state tournament. They won it by like 20 points.
Which that's still a lot.
That's a big blowout. Decon, they won by almost 50 points.
They almost doubled up the team that was the runner-up.
Holy cow.
And that, there's a lot of people, track, just not a ton of people know the ins and outs of it. They might know the events, because it's all your Olympic events. As this is cleared out by medley. And Greenwood's going to launch this one. It's going to come down to, couldn't tell who that was.
Hill, that should be a foul. Yeah, they got it right there.
They got it, so it's going to be a free kick. But, in those events, if you win by 8 points, that's a lot, let alone 56.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, man, kudos to Shagnon, Will Norris, also Philip Goodwin for
Tilda's in there. I mean, there's a lot of great coaches around that program.
But they're smart. They understand the numbers game, and they do such an excellent job of setting us up to compete and win at that level. I think they were saying when we were there, they knew within Kaylee Simmons.
They knew it at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, they were like, this is over. Like, we got it because we know. I think
they had all the running events left, and we had a 25-point lead or so.
Yeah, wasn't it Russellville that wasn't picking up near as many points as they thought?
Yeah, it's the thing that's weird, and I was explaining this earlier. They lost to Russellville in conference by a pretty hefty margin. I think it was around 40 points, but a lot of the kids for Mountain Home have already qualified. So you'll see a lot of kids try to qualify. Like, you might have a kid stay home for an event for Mountain Home. That way you could qualify in another kid to go to state, so you could steal points
with them finishing.
Just by them finishing the race. So you're kind of playing the long game there.
Yeah.
So Eli Jones is going to go, but he didn't need to go.
So you're saying we're playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers?
Something like that.
As Addison Ferris got in, another senior for the Lady Bombers, she's going to check in and replace Jocelyn Hill.
Well, Coach Laird had good things to say about her at the banquet the other night. That was a good banquet. You did a good job presenting that award.
Yeah.
The Hill Media Award. I agree with what he said. She was, I don't want to say the victim. She was on a very loaded team where she was a good player. She'd have played a lot of other years that we've had.
Kaylee Simmons doing a good job. Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry, Kaylee's down there fighting. Another sophomore that you're going to have back.
Not a lot of sophomores. They only have 4 sophomores,
Kinley
but they
Reynolds
all play.
And Kaylee Simmons, Lucy Kane over there had a lot of JV minutes. Lucy's going to probably get a lot of minutes coming forward. And you got some freshmen that's got a lot of time as well. I'll tell you that Brooklyn Fisher, number 40, we actually missed her. She's a freshman, and she's been out. Is Kelsey about to get one on goal? Just a little far wide.
Curved the wrong way. She was trying to curve it back this way. It went over toward the bleachers here. I noticed they don't have the fireworks set up for soccer.
No, not in soccer.
No, they didn't have fireworks. They had a cannon when we came up here. That was.
Gosh.
They always
Don't
have
remind
something.
me.
And this isn't a secret. We'll have the fireworks at graduation next week.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think we're working on some things to maybe get those for some of the football games.
Well, we had one. The first game they did it was the home playoff game we had. I think the fireworks guys said they almost ran out.
No, that was Shiloh game. What? Or no?
No, it was a state playoff. It's Sheridan.
Yeah, Sheridan. That's what it was. Sheridan. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it was 57-50, and I talked to the gentleman that was running the fireworks. Said, "Yeah, I was getting a little worried we might run out."
Greenwood's kind of got a push here. As Kenna Medley's going to do a good job clearing it out. I'll tell you too. One thing you'll learn in soccer: when that ball's in the middle like that, you want to clear it out. Abby Dettelbach, great footwork right there to actually steal the ball and take that defense into offense as she gets it held to Blackwell. But I tell you, you usually want to just clear that ball and get it out. But, man, Abby, great footwork right there, getting it ahead to Kelsey. And here she got a run out on the far sideline. She's beating everybody.
Blackwell's showing some speed off. As there's a Greenwood girl down as over toward the middle of the field. She got tripped
They got a penalty. Here we go.
Well, they're going to stop it for the girl.
Oh, they're going to stop it for the girl down. I thought they called it down low with Kelsey in the box.
Yeah, I think as soon as there was a stoppage, they were going to put a stop to play there. She was on the ground before Kelsey even got there.
Was that a non-contact injury, or did she get hit?
I couldn't see. I was focused on Kelsey running along the sideline.
I always hate to see that, especially last game of the year.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had a lot of seniors tonight. I noticed. Did you get here during their senior night stuff? They had.
We got in right when they were announcing
seniors.
It. We had time to walk all the way around the park 3 or 4 times and then get in here.
So they're going to tend to that Greenwood Bulldog.
I'm going to send everybody their benches now, it looks like.
Yeah, everyone's going to take a breather, it looks like. Mountain Home will have some substitutes coming in.
Are there timeouts? You can't call timeouts.
Well, no, there's no timeouts in soccer. They only stop it for injury, to give out a card, or a goal. So that's really the last 5 minutes substitutions. They stop the clock because, you saw it in the boys' game. That Greenwood had that 1-0 lead. A tactic that pretty much every team uses is they'll start subbing because they know, game's not going to go on. You can waste 30, 40 seconds just get two kids.
But inside of 5 minutes, you have to stop, correct?
Well, they don't have to stop. If the official thinks they're taking too much time doing it, then they can stop it.
Oh, yeah. I remember they stopped it on us at Harrison.
Because that was – we were trying that.
Here you go. She's up. Good for her.
Yeah, she's good.
She'll get up and leave on her own power there. Couple Greenwood. Looks like a trainer over there.
That's the other thing. Greenwood has a really good training staff here. Every time – we came here in basketball. I think they had 3 or 4 trainers just here. They're no match for Callie Hendricks and Weston Vickers. So Mountain Home has 2 really good ones back home.
Both coaches taking some time here to talk to their teams, and King spending a little more time. He's going to stay out there till the official calls them back in. Now they're back out there on the field. Mountain Home's doing a good job getting pressure on that offensive side of the thing, though. They
yeah, it's been, Mountain Home's really dominated this game, but it's not showing on the scoreboard.
No. Yeah, I agree with that. That's soccer for you, though, right?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of soccer. I've seen just even on TV, you can have a team that's just dominating, but the other team could have that one opportunity, and they could just get dominated a game they win.
Bella Dotson and Jocelyn Hill going to check back in. They're going to replace Whitten Coleman and Kendra Medley. Kendra and Ken are the twins of the two. Kendra's been the defensive side. Kendra's been kind of that midfield to offensive player for us.
Clock's not running. Now it starts running over there. 22 minutes left in the first half here. The final game for the Lady Bombers this year. Not the final Bomber athletic event this year. We have the Meet of Champions next week where a lot of our top performers at the state track meet will go play. Eli Jones will probably go put on a show in the shot put and discus again. Did you see the individual results yesterday? He won the shot put by over 10 feet. Keep in mind, that shot put's about 15 pounds.
Wow.
And he threw that 10 feet further than the next best one. I think the student that finished in second in that, I think he's going to go do that in college.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's insane.
Eli's going to UCA to do that.
And, the discus, he won by 25 feet, which I believe, to dumb it down, essentially, it's a weighted Frisbee that they're throwing. You'll see that a lot in the Olympics. He had it, I can't remember what the number was. I know he had it 25 feet further than the next best person, which I think it was the same student that finished second. Then the highlight I saw go viral was Connor King in the 800.
Yeah, I just seen him give it all right there at the end and lean that. I don't know where that guy was from, but
he was from Marion.
He thought he had it won, but Connor just out leaned that guy. Gave it all he had. It's pretty awesome.
It helped. He was a little bit taller than him, but you notice he started to turn up that last 50 meters when he was like, "Oh crap, I'm losing suddenly."
Yeah, he thought he was cruising for it, and then which I heard that they had a really good run, and the time before, as Kendra's back in, Medley replacing Addison Ferris, they had a really good run that he kind of cruised because he knew he had 2 more races to go, and they won by like 8 seconds. Was that right? The 4x800?
Yeah, I think it was that one, and whoever was the last leg of that, I forget who told me they were basically just jogging the last leg.
Yeah,
compared to everyone else.
And then was it maybe our 4x200 that had set the school record for the 3rd time and finished 3rd? That's how fast the other teams were.
But that's the other thing is if you rack up a bunch of top 3s and just get a lot of points, you could win a state title that way. It just so happened Mountain Home, I think we won 8 different events.
And then we go 1, 2, 3 in the 1600.
Yeah, which that's nuts in itself.
Well, and the times were like 4:19, 4.
Yeah.
For a mile. That's a mile, folks. 1,600.
We got a whistle and a stoppage, a yellow card on the coach.
On
the coach at Greenwood. He's not pleased. I think it's hard to hear where the window doesn't open up here, but very demonstrative in his actions over there. Coach Post, he wasn't real happy with whatever happened.
Now he's got to go sit down.
He was like, all right, I'm done talking. Now, yellow card, that's like it's the same as a technical in basketball, but you don't get awarded points. And he could even continue to stand and coach. Basketball, you have to sit. But This will be a free kick for Mountain Home here.
I think they should give you like a free kick at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I think you should be able to pick.
Or do something.
Yeah.
If you get or a corner kick. I think it should be a corner kick. How about that?
That's a little, yeah.
That gives you a chance to score, but you get to choose if it's a corner.
I think they should do kind of what they do. I don't know if you ever played billiards, but like if you knock the cue ball in, you could place the ball wherever you want. I think you should be able to do that if
ball
it's a foul like that. Yep. Yeah, outside the 18-yard box, of course, but. As we have a whistle, another infraction called on Greenwood. It's going to be a free kick at a very favorable spot.
Well, their 18-yard box is not marked out very, very well, is it?
No, it's not quite like ours, but it's funny. As soon as we start spring football, I was out there watching practice the other day. You don't even see it.
Jocelyn got a nice kick. It's up off the top of the crossbar. Man.
Another good opportunity for Mountain Home. One of those is going to go in.
Oh, yeah. That Yoli did a good job just getting a hand on it. That looked like that had a chance.
Oh, yeah. That's about the fourth or fifth good opportunity for Mountain Home. One of those is going to find the back of the net. I think the thing that hurt them last time was, they went to Shiloh. And they had a hard-fought game there, lost 1-0, and then they turn around the next day. You go through a full day of school, and then you have Greenwood come to town, who's a very even competitor, at least where they were in the standings. And, that's difficult to play two real high-intensity matches back-to-back
Physical games. That Shiloh game at Shiloh, even though they were calling several of the fouls that got stopped a lot, but this Greenwood team, they're physical. Mm-hmm. I saw Pate Jones out there, number 23. Mm-hmm. She was on the basketball team. She's a competitor. She knows how to mix it up in there, and just got some. When you got a program like Greenwood, it's just built-in athletics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you see all the same names that you hear in football. You hear them in basketball. You hear them in baseball. I heard a lot of familiar names as Greenwood's got an opportunity here. Mountain Home.
Lucky to not get
Snuffs
called
that
there.
one out.
Yeah, Greenwood tried to get that foul call inside and didn't get it. But they kind of turned the tables a little bit on us here. Greenwood's had the ball inside our box and inside our half of the field for this last little bit. Mountain Home's defense proven worthy of the task.
Talbot's going to wrestle that one over, get it to one of her teammates for this free kick. How about her? Keanu Talbot's done a good job this year for Mountain Home. Little freshman. I say little. She's about 6 foot tall.
Yeah, she's a long body in there. Like I said, every game I've seen her, she's just gotten better. Mm-hmm. When she first started, kind of gave up a few soft goals that like that goal right there, great stop by her that might have bounced off her hands and, they were able to get some goals or do something. But, man, she's doing a really good job. And she got a big leg. Look at her boot that almost all the way out to the 50-yard line.
You might need her to come do some punting for him this year.
Yeah, who's going to be our punter this year? Brantley?
Keanu Talbot.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Brantley probably. That's who did it last year.
Yeah, I'd say so. But I think they're looking for linemen right now. But
yeah,
I think they're going to get they'll get it figured out.
Got a new addition today on the line. Pretty nice. McBride was back.
Yeah.
Witt kicks it ahead.
Greenwood's going to corral this one.
Yeah, so there you go. That's a perfect example of just being an athlete but not a soccer player, right? Like if Witt catches that ball, soft touches it to herself, pushes it ahead till she actually meets a defender, and then kicks it ahead, we might have a little more chance at a run out. Mm-hmm. However, she did get a good foot on it, got it ahead, but kind of an easy pickup for Greenwood.
I remember, and I think Dell will say this too, about 8-10 years ago, he had a ton of girls in basketball that also played soccer because that's a good complementary sport to the two. And if you can defend in soccer, you can defend in basketball because it's a lot of the same principles in that.
I say this all the time to parents when I talk to them. If I had it to do again, when Witten was young, as a young girl, we played softball. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with softball. Softball is a great sport. But I would put her in soccer immediately. I'd do soccer as well because the footwork that it comes with soccer, if you ever watch any soccer player play any other sport that has done it from a young age, they are super smooth. They have excellent footwork. So if you're out there listening and you got young daughters or young boys too, put them in soccer. Mm-hmm. Kobe Bryant was an excellent soccer player. And Steve Nash. And you see a lot of this, but the footwork that comes with soccer it just makes you a better athlete.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kelsey Blackwell played a little basketball too. Jocelyn Hill was she came out for a couple days, but that's a big thing. Just I was thankful for my mom doing this. She basically told me to do this, and I said, just try it. But if you don't like it, okay, yeah, you don't have to do it. And I think that's play as many sports as you can growing up. As Blackwell's got this one toward the net, just wide of the goal. Good opportunity for Kelsey Blackwell again. We're going to get a goal.
We are. We're getting too many good looks and opportunities right there. But what a pass by Jocelyn Hill up to the middle there. Through a couple defenders of Greenwood, and Kelsey corralled that ball and got a foot on it.
That we talked about it just coming out and playing. I don't think Jocelyn Hill played a second of soccer before last year. When she moved here, I don't think she had played, if I remember right, I don't think she had played soccer. Now she's one of our most important pieces on a really good team.
Yeah, Kelsey hadn't played till her freshman year. She hadn't played soccer.
She's going to be all-conference, all-state more than likely.
She picked it up her freshman year. And
now, I know there's a few like the Dots, or not the Dots, the Medleys.
Medley girls, yeah.
Yeah, they played forever. Their older sister played. She was on a state championship winning team back in the early 2010s. Michaela, she was another two-sport athlete. She played volleyball. I think she did a little track and soccer. I've slept since then, but that's the thing I noticed here at Greenwood. Again, you hear the same names. Like all these girls, also a lot of them played basketball too. Just going by all their senior posters out there.
Well, I'll tell you, Tay Chairs.
That's another one.
She's been hurt and out, but she's another. I thought Whit was going to smoke that girl. But she's been out with an injury. Great basketball player, good hand.
Important piece for Dell next year, seemed like. Blackwell's going to settle this one down. Now she's out open turf ahead of her. A couple Bulldogs between her and the goal. Makes one miss. Lady Bombers can stay onside. This will be another good opportunity as she's knocked down. It's going to be, I believe, a corner kick.
Corner kick.
Or no, it was going to be a goal kick. It was last touched by Greenwood.
Yeah,
last touched by Mountain Home at the end there.
Mark Blackwell not too happy with the call on his daughter. Was wanting that penalty call there.
Yeah, we can hear him through the glass.
Yes. Subbing in is Addison Pulsifer. She's coming in.
Another two-sport athlete. She was a athlete of the year. She was in that top 10. She was also a wrestler.
Wrestler, right? Yeah.
She's a pretty good wrestler. She was the wrestler of the week, I think, the second week of January here.
Yeah, 120-pound division. Like, there's different weight divisions.
Somewhere in there. There's a ton of weight divisions there. As this two girls for Greenwood whiffed on the kick here, it's going to end up being Mountain Home's ball inside the 25 in the football field with 12 minutes to go in this first half. Still no score. Again and again, Mountain Home's dominated so far. It hasn't shown up on the scoreboard.
Once again, had that ball inside that box. Is it called the 18-yard box?
18-yard box.
How about that? I learned something my last soccer game I've ever been at here.
You'll probably never leave that info again.
I might.
Well, yeah, you might. 11:22 to go in the first half as Mountain Home and Greenwood, both of these teams out of the state tournament picture. The top four in boys and girls have been decided. Even with Farmington boys losing 4-1, Farmington will be the 4 seed at the state tournament. Gosh, what a fight for our boys the last month or so. They were in pretty much last place a month ago, and then outside of Van Buren, they got either 1 or 3 points from everybody to make it close. Blackwell tried to send a through ball. I think Witten got impeded. I think she was expecting Witten to be more ahead than she was, but it's going to stay with Mountain Home as a throw-in with 10:40 to go.
Yeah, those two, Pate Jones and Witten over there, they locked it up on the basketball court quite a bit against each other. They do know each other pretty well. Pate's a sweet girl, to be honest with you. I know her parents and good parents. We're good friends with Kyle and Alyssa Barton of Mountain Home, that by way of Greenwood, but her mom and Alyssa are good friends, so we've got to meet them, and Pate was a sweet girl. Pulsifer doing a good job putting pressure on the Greenwood player, not letting them get a run out. And I tell you, look how hard these Lady Bombers are playing. Yeah. This just tells you a little bit about Coach King and what he's done with this program, and Coach Blaisdell over there. You know, these girls are out of the state tournament picture, right? Like, they can come here. They've had a 4.5-hour bus ride, and they could just be like, you know what, let's just kind of
Yeah, we could just go out. Let's go throw the ball out there for 80 minutes. But you couldn't tell they were out of it.
You couldn't. They are fighting hard.
That's one way you could tell if a team's in good shape, even in their bad years.
Go get it.
Pulsifer's in pursuit, but she can't get there. You know, a team like this who's out of it, you could tell how good their culture is just because they're still going to fight even if they're out of it.
I hate to say it, but, I mean, our energy way outdoes Greenwood's.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to jinx this, but Greenwood's kind of got, you know.
Greenwood's the one with the bus legs right now.
They are. I mean, the runouts they've had have just been kind of – they got through. But, you know, Mountain Home's winning. All these 50-50 balls that are in the middle, they're the ones that are fighting it, and they're the ones that are winning it.
Kendra's going to get ahead.
Go get it, Addison. Go get it, Addison.
As it bounces down to the keeper of Greenwood, it didn't take a good enough bounce for Pulsifer to get there. I don't think she read it well enough in the air. That's difficult when it starts to get in the air like that.
It is, but, you know, if you could just put a ton of pressure on that goalie running in there full speed, they take their eyes off of you for 1 second with those big old mitts on, and that ball pops out, and you got a chance, right?
8.5 to go here in the first half of action. No score here. Beautiful Greenwood, Arkansas. Good afternoon today. It sprinkled a little bit earlier, but it's been a pretty good day so far.
Look at that press box across the way. We spent some time over there this last year, didn't we?
Hopefully we get one more trip again. You know, well, if we make another trip, there's something good happen.
We're in the playoffs. If they're coming to our place.
That's what I kind of told. I forget who I was telling about. Like, if I spend a bunch of the days after Thanksgiving in that press box, I don't think I'd complain just a whole lot.
Right. How about the Rolla game being on a Thursday this year?
Well, that's one big thing is they're hurting for officials in Missouri. So you'll have officiating crews. You know, they might do a JV game on Monday and then turn around and go somewhere on Friday, but they're having a lot of crews do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There's a lot of games that are like conference games being played on Saturday in Missouri.
Is that why we're playing them on the 18th, Thursday?
Yeah, we're playing them on a Thursday just for that reason because there's so many. I think a lot of conference games start on that Friday because Missouri's weird about conferences. You can just make your own conference, and then it leads into, I think they call it a
sectional.
Sectional, and then you go off to state.
Yeah, you get points.
The sectional is determined by the state, but you can make your own conference.
Right, but you get points for playing higher seat, like bigger classification schools that are worth more points, right?
I realize another way that, as this is a good opportunity for Mountain Home, scooped up by the keeper. One thing, tiebreaker in Missouri is your overall point differential in all of your games. So, like in conference play in Arkansas, you know, they just take up to 14 points to the good or the bad. Well, just to the good. You could beat someone 45-0 or 14-0, and it's the same thing. But in Missouri, you know, all those points matter for them. So you'll see them normally, if it's a game, a lot of teams will put the wow. Golly, that was a lot of contact there. Kendra McLean.
Kendra McLean says, I'm going to grab you and put you down. They're going quick. Going to try to get a score. Good job right there on the offside by Reynolds, and then a great stop by Kiki Talbot to knock that ball down. That's the best scoring chance Greenwood's had. McKinley Reynolds did an excellent job coming in and getting that first ball cleared out of there.
It's going to go out of play. You know, we just can't move that table right there, I guess.
I know. What's up with that? I mean, it's like 2 feet off the playing surface here. That's kind of crazy.
Greenwood with the soccer ball now. They're inside, now past the 20. They're in the red zone of the football field. As another decent opportunity, a good look here, snuffed out by Mountain Home's defense. It looks like Lady Bombers playing with 15 back there. Every time a ball gets inside the 25, over there, there's 4 Lady Bombers around it.
Kenna Medley, McLean, Kendra McLean, Abby Dettelbach, and Reynolds, Kinley Reynolds back there. They're doing an excellent job on the defensive side.
5.5 to go in the first half. Final game of the year for the Lady Bombers. I have Lady Bomber softball in the state tournament next week. I mean, Kurt.
Whoa, whoa! How about that? Wow. How about that?
Little cartwheel throw in.
That's the most aroused the Greenwood fans have gotten all night. How about it?
That even fired me up.
We had a girl do that in JV game the other night.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that should be Mount Home's ball.
It should be. It will be.
No, this dude pointed the wrong way. The girl kicked it. No.
I say it was tipped, but They must saw something we didn't, but
Yeah, I believe it was Brooklyn Fisher that did it the other night.
I thought so too, but
in the Mountain Home game. But that girl just chunked that ball. That was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Who was that? Number 30?
I think so. Yeah.
Who was that there?
I couldn't get a roster. Nobody had a paper roster. I think SB Live just has the names on there, no numbers. But
oh yeah, 30 was the one I thought was who was the girl basketball? Piercy. She looks a lot like her, but it wasn't. I remember when she came to Mountain Home.
It's difficult enough, all the rules that you have to follow just to throw it in, and then be able to do that and still make it legal.
Yeah, that's cool. That was really cool. Kendra Medley checking back in. Kelsey Blackwell back in. They're replacing Whit and Coleman, and also Addison Pulsifer.
As here comes Greenwood. Kinley Reynolds doing a good job shielding the ball away from Greenwood.
Yeah, good defense right there. And like I said, sometimes you just kick it out of bounds. That's your best defense. Is just like
then you get set up.
Yeah, we're not even trying it. As Jocelyn Hill gonna come in, she's gonna kick it off of Greenwood. Ball. Yeah, excellent play. Yeah, that's kind of I tell you, Jocelyn's a gamer, man. She is competitive, and she is a gamer. Just like that, she waited till the Greenwood player got out there and just kicked it off her leg out of bounds so Mountain Home could get it and get set up.
Another throw-in for Mountain Home. 3:20 to go in the first half. As this is sent down the field, Reynolds in pursuit. She's going to shield the defender. She's going to get pushed to the back. It's going to be a free kick for Mountain Home.
Good job by Reynolds. I'll tell you, man, I like her. I like watching her play. Right there, she did an excellent job knowing that ball was going to go out of bounds. Mountain Home was going to get possession. She's boxed out the offensive player.
It's the same principle in basketball. You box someone out, they move you, that's a foul.
Yeah, took the foul. And
all right, you saw a lot of these. You've been to a lot of these girls' games. Who was the best girls' team we saw this year, if you remember? Say probably Russellville.
Man, I think Russellville. They were polished, very polished.
It's funny, if provided they. I think they have Harrison tonight, so depending how that goes, Russellville boys and girls are combined 27-0, and their goal differentials in around 100 on the positive side. So their boys are insane, but their girls are equally insane. It's very rare when you see both boys and girls dominated by the same team. 2 minutes to go, a lot of contact there. I think it's going to be a. Officials pointing toward the Mountain Home goal. It's going to be a goal kick.
I think they're going to call it on Kelsey.
It looked like a 50-50 ball to me.
King doesn't like something. He's trying to get the officials' attention out there. At least the sideline official.
I was talking to him during the senior night stuff that they had out here. He was like, man, sprinkle a little bit. I was like, man, this is a much drier night than yesterday.
Yeah. Those girls, like I said, I talked to them. They're like, we loved it. They love going out there playing in the rain. Once you get wet and get used to it, it's kind of fun running around out there.
Some sports more than others. You were a pitcher. You didn't like when it was raining. That makes a lot difficult.
They would cancel it. Wouldn't do
soccer,
baseball.
Football, no.
As long as it's not lightning, we going. As Addison Ferris heads it out of bounds.
Minute to go in this one in the first half, and there'll be a 10-minute halftime. They will resume the second 40-minute half. Medley bats that one down. It was skipped to
Ferris.
Yeah,
good job. Using that head, knocking it back down. Good to see her out there. You could tell her athleticism, like Coach Leonard. He said, like you mentioned it earlier, she would play on a lot of already teams that they had.
And she still played, but she would have played more on a lot of teams. This is skied in the air. This one could be trouble. Talbot bats it off of the crossbar.
Wow, great save by Talbot.
As this is sent back to the net.
Wow, that was an excellent save. Usually it's kind of right at you and you kick it. What's the call here?
Yeah, they're going to say free kick right here. Couldn't tell what it was. Might have been a handball when it came out this way. So
12 seconds left in. They're going to get the free kick. It's going to be still high.
Over the net, a good opportunity for Greenwood. But Talbot was all over that one, too.
Yep, that's the way the half's going to come to an end right there. As time is going to kick off, and we're going to be at half.
So it's halftime here at Smith Robinson Stadium. 0-0 your score here from beautiful Greenwood, Arkansas. We'll take a break. Bring you the second half. Just a couple minutes on the Bomber Sports Network. Back here for the second half, Bombers and Lady Bombers and Greenwood ready to go here. The second leg of tonight's match. Bombers came up short 2-0 earlier in the festivities tonight. They are not going to go to the 5A state tournament. They came close. They made a run at it, but just came up just a little short at the end. As we're resuming play, Mountain Home now moving right to left on your screen in front of you here. Greenwood left to right. Didn't mention what everyone's wearing. I think you figured it out. Mountain Home's in there. Road white uniforms, blue numerals, blue lettering across the chest as Lady Bombers, blue shorts and white socks. Greenwood in their all navy blues with white numerals and lettering as they have a stoppage of play. It's
you got a little contact there with Bella and one of the Greenwood players.
Glad you're here with us. This is the Bomber Sports Network on YouTube, the MH Athletics app, and MHBombersports.com. Brad Coleman's here also. He made this short little trip. As Mountain Home's got a good opportunity.
Go Kills. Go Kills.
Blackwell in front of the net. It's going to skip wide of the net. Good job by Greenwood's keeper to snuff that one out, but it's going to be a corner kick for the Lady Bombers here. 1 minute into this second half. They're going to score eventually.
Yeah, we've had a lot of shots on goal. You know, Greenwood had 2 on the flurry right there at the end of the half, or last minute or so. But, man, we have been putting pressure on them. At some point, the valve is going to bust, and Mountain Home's going to get some goals. And I think once it breaks,
yeah, I
think it's going to have a chance to get to 3-0 pretty quickly once we get that first one.
Corners away. It's going to go to the middle of the 18-yard box. It came down to the head of a Bulldog. Now Mountain Home's going to be able to get this one. It's Bella Dotson. Now to Witten. Witten tried to rattle around. Now Greenwood's going to have it. Now they're on the counterattack. They do not have numbers. It's basically 7-on-3 right now. As this is going to go way wide of the goal, out of play. It'll be to the left of the corner flag, so it'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home and Greenwood's third of the field.
If that ball goes out along the end line down there, it's a goal kick, correct?
Yeah, if it goes to the end, it goes to the end zone.
Yeah.
The end line of the end zone. There's one thing I mentioned in the boys' game. It's weird, this is a wider field than the football field.
Yeah.
And it's the same length as a regulation football field. Of course, they use the back of the end zone, so it's a little longer. But when they had the state finals at U of A, by the letter of the law at AAA, the field there is illegal because it's wider than the widest you're allowed, and it's longer than the longest you're allowed when you get to the state final. It's like if you played on a 100-foot-long basketball court in the state finals.
Wait, you're telling me that the college football field is longer?
No, the college soccer field.
Oh,
at U of A.
college soccer field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't play it on their football
No,
field. That's right.
they
They
don't
have
play
their
it.
own
Yeah.
soccer field, and
Yeah,
it's bigger.
Uh-huh.
So it's
So
professional.
that field is bigger than what is in front of us here and what's at Bomber Stadium and all the places we
Okay,
play
I did
at.
not know this. So, go Bello, outrunner.
Oh.
So is that the same size as the professional field? Like the big,
yeah, because that's
World Cup
NCAA,
stuff and all that?
Yeah, that's NCAA length, MLS, World Cup, everything.
Did I tell you, we were over in Munich this past summer.
Oh, yeah.
And they had, it wasn't the World Cup, it was the Euro Cup, right? Go win that ball. There
They
you go.
call it the Euros or something like
Yeah.
that.
So, anyways, it was, you want to talk about a cool experience.
Did you go to a game?
We didn't. I tried to find tickets, but I could not get tickets to a game in Munich. But Germany played there one day, and it was wild.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of the days we were there, we actually were walking through a beer garden in Munich, and I think it was Portugal. It wasn't Portugal. They were not in Europe. And it was Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and somebody else. But we sat in the beer garden as they were watching the match. And you want to talk about crazy now. You think SEC football is crazy.
It's a different level.
Those Europeans and their soccer or football over there, it was a cool experience. It was really, really fun.
Soccer's not just real huge in the United States because, we have bigger sports like basketball, football, baseball that we tend to focus more of our time on. But you go to Germany, you go to France, I mean, that's what they do.
Oh, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, they're not playing baseball in France, I don't believe. I think there's a few French players in the majors.
Go, Bella. Go.
Bella with it. Witten Coleman behind. Let's see if Witten launches one here. And she's going to try to get to Bella, but a Bulldog blew it up.
Yeah, that's one thing I like. Witten does. She tries to pass it in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just lack of confidence of handling the ball, I think. But she does a good job setting up teammates. But I'd like to see her send one. She did get the goal against Harrison to beat them. I told her she should retire. Her only varsity goal ever was when she turned around and beat Harrison. I was like, let's just walk off the field right now and not go back out there.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was such an awesome goal.
But that's right place at the right time, too. So it's like you might not have the skill set, but you can be in the right spot. Yeah. And she's in the right spot more often than not.
She ran over about 4 or 5 girls to get there. She was like, I ain't losing to Harrison. She goes, we've never beat Harrison on this bunch. And she goes, I was making sure we did.
We're going to see how Russellville Harrison go tonight in girls. That's 2 really good teams. I think Russellville's probably going to win that one.
Yeah. I tell you, Russellville's just got everything.
Good.
They just, man, their passes are crisp. They're always in the right spot. They're always moving. They look really good. But the 4th seed, so it's going to be Shiloh, correct?
That's a team that's won the defending state champion.
In 4A.
Yeah.
They got bumped up. Did you see who you draw first round of state?
I believe, well, if we had made it, we would have played Little Rock Christian.
That's who Shiloh's going to get, Little Rock Christian. They've given up 7 goals, I think, all year.
Yeah.
They're beating teams.
Now the Central's not very stout in soccer.
I agree.
So the bottom teams in our conference would have been closer to the middle or the top 4 in that one. Like, there's just looking at the names, them and Benton are really the only ones that I'm like, okay, I've seen them be good at soccer before, but the rest I'm like,
it's kind of like the East, right? You got Greene County Tech and
Tech's had most, but it used to be always Searcy and Jonesboro that Mountain Home those would be the games that you'd kind of get up for. Now there was a bunch. This is going to be skied over the net.
That's good. It's 3 points. That's through the field.
We don't need the 3. Well, they don't need the 3 points, but
what's that Patrick Mahomes State Farm commercial where he's like, "Goal!" He's like, "Field goal." That was it right there.
Coach Young might need to get her out on the football field. That was about a 30-yard field goal. I remember we came here last year. I don't know if you made this trip last year, but he actually coached the boys' game last year.
Oh, really?
Coach Woods, I think that he had some kind of illness, but yeah, he coached the boys' game. It was kind of the same situation. We needed to come here and win, and Greenwood had to win and get in. Here's a good opportunity for Mountain Home.
Be another corner.
Be a corner. But, yeah, he actually played college soccer. Coach Young at Greenwood. That's a fun little tidbit.
I think it's going to be it, Decon. I'm calling it right now. The 32-minute mark. Mountain Home's going they're letting it tick down. It's going to be in the 31-minute mark. But Mountain Home is going to get their first goal off a corner kick.
Who's it going to? Witten? Looks like Witten or Medley over there.
I think Medley. I think Medley's going to fly in and get it. That's what I think.
This one's launched. It's a good ball in front of that. Medley's there, and it's a goal for Mountain Home.
What do you say? What do you say? Let's go! At the 31-minute mark, a corner kick from Kelsey Blackwell, and Kendra Medley comes in and gets the goal.
Look at you. Hi, that's your best prediction all year.
That was amazing.
That's your best prediction all year, Brad. So Mountain Home, the seal finally breaks. They have a lead here. 31-49 remaining.
No, what are they calling?
What is this? It's not a goal.
What are they calling here?
King's not happy. Yeah, Coach King's on the sideline with the assistant referee.
What are they? Did he call offsides?
Well, it can't be offsides because it's right on the end line. Yeah, nobody was offsides when that happened. I didn't see anything out of place. The center referee, as we'll have a stoppage, as a yellow card for Jocelyn Hill, of all people.
What did she?
So she just ran by him and gave her a yellow card, and she subbed out. She's not happy. Coach King's not happy, and nobody's happy over there right now.
What in the world?
Well, it's back to nothing. Well, they ruined your moment. So
No, it still happened.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Greenwood's got a little run out. Mountain Home's going to clear it, though. Good job by
And Medley's going to just push her out.
Kenna Medley. Jocelyn's going to come back in after you get a yellow card. You got to come out of the game.
Mm-hmm. You can go right back in. You got to be summoned back into the game.
She's staying the night with us in Fayetteville tonight. Okay. Jocelyn is, and her and Addison Ferris. I'm going to ask and get the skinny on what she said to the official to get a yellow card.
She didn't really seem to fight it a whole lot. And
no, she just kind of
Coach King was on board with what she said, so.
King's over there talking to Witten when she comes out, so I don't know if she did something in there to, like, clear out.
It must have been something they thought that cleared space. Like, you can't screen people. Like, you could screen people on inbounds playing basketball, but I don't think you can screen people or displace them on a free kick like that. That might have been what it was, but I say lost soccer. I don't know what happened there. I'll just be honest.
I've never seen them take that away.
I've seen them wipe goals off the board because they're offsides, but there were.
Go get it, Bella. Go, Bella.
Bella in a full sprint.
Go, Bella.
Dotson getting shielded from the ball.
Go fight. Get the ball.
She can't get to it. Now Greenwood on the counterattack. As Kendra Medley's going to step in front of that one. Tripped her up with the ball. Going to weave through traffic. One girl bounces off her. And it's going to be knocked out of play. A throw-in for the Lady Bombers.
Yeah, Kendra's like, you took my goal. I'm about to go get another one.
She's one that could go get one.
Throw ahead to Bella. Another good chance for the Lady Bombers. Gets it in the middle. Unable to get a good foot on that one.
This will be a goal kick, or just be a regular free kick for Greenwood after the save. It comes down to Kelsey Blackwell. Blackwell's down. She's going to bounce right back up. Coming back this way, Kendra Medley. She's looking to avenge the goal that was taken away from her. At the 12-minute mark here in the second half, nothing our score, but Mountain Home's dominated this game. As this will go out of play, stay with Greenwood, and they're third of the field. I thought we had a substitution. They're going to continue on. It's broken up by Blackwell. Now she's on the attack as Greenwood bat it back the other way. Now it's skipped to the far side of the field, and Greenwood can't track it down.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened on that goal.
It's heck if I know. Normally I could tell pretty quickly, but yeah, see if you can go back and look, see if there was anything that sticks out. Because you got to do something really egregious to get a goal like that wiped away. So here comes Mountain Home on the counterattack. Dotson in pursuit. Trying to find someone to cross it. Now she's going to come back this way to the middle of the field as Greenwood has it snuffed out. They don't quite clear it. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be in the end zone of that side of the field where the throw-in is, even with the end zone. 27 minutes and some change left in this one. Here's the throw-in from Rawls. It's going to come down to a Lady Bomber. Dotson was there. She didn't get there quite in time. It's going to be settled backwards by Hill. Now Kelsey Blackwell looking as she's going to launch this one toward the net. It's going to go over the goalpost. And it'll be a goal kick for the Bulldogs.
Oh, they're going to say that Witten ran into the goalie. I just went and looked at it.
Yeah, that'd be.
But that's such a bum call. The goalie jumped and fell down. Witten went in to try to head it, and the goalie was right there and then just fell down. They're going to say goalkeeper interference.
Okay. Yeah, because she's entitled. It's kind of like pass interference in football. She's entitled to her space, but, I mean, once the ball's there and you're making a play on it, then it's all bets are off. But
well, Kelsey's going to get one on that. Oh, almost. Well, like Witten went up to try to head it, and the goalie went up to try to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
They call it penalty here?
They're going to call a free kick.
Oh, right outside of the box.
Uh-huh. Golden opportunity. Hill's just going to go before they get the wall set up, and she sends it through the goalpost. But once the official places the ball, they're good. So Greenwood still had their head turned, and Jocelyn was loading up.
King didn't like that as he looks out at her. She was trying to catch him off guard and get in there quick.
I mean, it was, if it had been lower, it would have been online and where it needed to go, but just wasn't a well-placed ball. 25-25 left for this class of 25 on the soccer field and on this 25 season for Mountain Home.
Graduation festivities for Mountain Home High School next Friday night.
Yeah, 7 p.m. If there's rain that night, they'll have it at 10 a.m. the next day. If there's still rain, they'll have it in the hangar for graduation.
Looks like there's inclement weather on the horizon. So
in the morning is what it looks like. I talking to Miss Russell last night. We'll take rain in the morning. That's fine. That's no big deal. We can get towels and dry off the seats. Did you go to the graduation in the hangar? It was kind of neat.
So there was one a couple years ago. I did not go. I heard it was hot as blue blazes.
It was cool. Yeah, that part wasn't
but
good. But it was neat.
I got to personally experience a graduation in the hangar back in 2000. Was the last time they had it in the hangar, and I got to walk across the stage during that time.
It's a little different than they didn't have AC even in that gym.
It was hot. Holy cow, it was hot.
I remember when that place didn't even have AC, and you get to basketball, you don't notice it, but volleyball season, God, you'd have a volleyball match in September and it's 100 degrees in there. Like it was, they have the wet bulb, if it's over a certain temperature or whatever, all the factors that go into that. Volleyball practices used to get wet bulbed. An indoor sport.
Yeah, I tell you, as Mountain Home's kind of fighting for the ball here, circuits were not the same without AC as they are with AC. They were miserable.
A lot of change since you were in high school at our facilities. Did you guys play at the city park still?
Yeah, I mean, they don't use hourglasses anymore for time. There's actually digital clocks.
Uh-huh.
No. Well, sorry, what'd you say?
You played at the city park?
We played Cooper Park. Yeah, baseball was at Cooper Park.
Football had grass field.
Football had a grass field at the time. We sure did. It was, a lot of differences in there. They didn't have a couple of the buildings. I think they added on later.
They added that Acme part of the building my senior year.
There.
And then they Cab Hallway was new, kind of new when you were in school.
What's that?
That Cab Hallway was kind of new.
It was. That we actually, I think, had it maybe my junior year that came.
It's connected to Dunbar and it has the band hall in it.
Yep, that was about my sophomore, junior year, I believe, is when that came in. It was man, Mount Home's just done a lot of good things, but it was a great.
I mean, I looked at it as this is shot toward the goal. It's going to go wide of the net, and it'll be a goal kick for Mountain Home. But I saw a picture. There's a newspaper clip I randomly saw on Facebook of a basketball game in the hangar about 98, 2000, somewhere in there. Hangar doesn't even look recognizable compared to now. I mean, there's been a fresh coat of paint, all the championship pictures in it, the video board, the new scoreboards. I mean, it
totally different. I think they just opened the bypass right around my senior year, if that tells you anything.
I'll say it was like 99, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think, they made a big deal. It was like the 25th anniversary of it.
We used to ride up and down that with four-wheelers when they were.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We get all around, jump over there on four-wheelers.
Okay. The statute of limitations up, so I think that's
it
good.
is. I know. Good thing. There's a lot of stupid stuff I did as a kid.
Didn't we all?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If we'd had, good thing we didn't have phones.
21 and a half minutes left in the season for the Lady Bombers. They got to get a goal. I've seen they've dominated this game a little too much for it to be still nothing. But that's just soccer has a lot of luck involved too.
Yeah.
Not just skill, but
Witten's using her box out skills here on the sideline. Is she going to fight for that ball? Kick it out of bounds.
It's going to go back to Greenwood.
I'll tell you, she's fearless. She comes running. There's a lot of girls that get out of the way of that freight train.
Well, it's like you've said it before. In basketball, she's got that look like when you're like, okay, it's about to be a foul. Well, now she's got time to kind of run her way out of it.
No kidding. Yeah.
Like in basketball, she might get mad and then she's got like 40 feet to cool down. As this is right to Talbot in front of the net. It's gonna go. It's still in play.
No, they're gonna say it was out. Goal kick.
It's out.
They had a chance there. Talbot got caught up in some traffic, and the Greenwood player out on the nice center and kick over here by number 14. That was a beautifully placed ball. Was it 14? 11 over here. But Talbot got caught up in traffic, and Greenwood almost got the go-ahead goal.
Halfway through this second half, play 2 40-minute halves in high school. There's no extra time, which I'll even admit I struggled to figure out how that works as well. I know it's time lost for substitutions and all that good stuff during the match, but
so I assume like right now when that ball's out of bounds, there's not being played. Someone's got a stopwatch and they're kicking it, and
there's
they're
some
keeping
algorithm
up with it, right?
or something they follow. Because sometimes if there's they take out times for goals because the clock never stops.
There's the spin move. As Greenwood fans cheer again on that, was pretty cool.
It's a good crowd tonight for the soccer game. A lot of Mountain Home people here too.
It was their senior night too. It was Witten's fighting for the ball. Let's see what she does with it over here. She's gonna kick it out of bounds. That's all right. Get set back up.
Comes back this way. Blackwell tried to step in front of it. Rawls had it. Hit off of Blackwell's back.
Katie Simmons in. She's fighting for the ball on that side. Lauren's got good footwork. Got a little run out going, but Greenwood's going to spoil the party and kick it out of bounds. But that's all right. Mountain Homes keeps pushing the ball up.
Lauren's another good piece that's back for this team next year. They have all 6 of the juniors that they have here are all big pieces coming back.
I tell you, they're going to have to be, right? Because you got Blackwell and Bella.
Lose a lot.
Yeah, that's had a lot of. And Jocelyn's had a lot of your goals scored. So
and you have a lot of girls on defense like Abigail Dettelbach and Addison Pulsifer's played minutes. Kate Vandersteck.
Kendra McLean's back there. So I'll tell you, I like watching Lauren throw that ball in too. She's all about taking every extra yard she can get. She runs up that sideline until they tell her she can't.
Have you talked to Russ and see if she's able to do that little cartwell throw in yet? Or
no, I haven't. I think we need to work on it for next year.
Yeah, may as well. Because this one I was like, what is she doing? And then it kind of catches you off guard when she does it.
Sturdy's doing that. Oh, she may have been doing it all year. That's an unfair statement, sorry. I was going to say she's only doing that now that they know they're not in the state.
No, it's also, I think even if they were still in it, I think senior night they'd still do it because really those were places where it wasn't really much of a threat to have a throw in.
Right.
So
Jocelyn's got the ball in the middle. See if we can get something brewing inside the box here.
Comes back this way, goes past the official. Here's
Lauren
Rawls.
Go, Lauren.
As it got broken up, she should have shot it one step earlier. As Blackwell's going to step in front of, they're going to say it was last touched by Greenwood. I think a lot of times when you hear the big groan from the crowd after someone gets tripped up, the ball gets hit first, and then someone gets hit, or the ball trips someone after it's been hit. So you'll see some wicked falls in soccer, but a lot of times it's just they get tripped up by the ball or tripped up by themselves. 17-10 left to go in this match.
Nice pass ahead to Lauren.
Here's Lauren. Couldn't get it. Wow.
Took a shot in the face. Unintentional, but man, I'm just winning these 50-50 balls right now. It's just a matter of time before we can get one in. I'm telling you. Here's Bella going to get it across. Nice pass. Oh, just a little too far.
A little step too slow on that one. But soccer's kind of like baseball. It's like, you can play a really good game, but that one bad hop could just flip the game around. And it's just Mountain Home just needs that good bounce.
Oh, Kelsey, whoop!
Made one miss toward the net. It's going to go right to the hands of the keeper.
I'm sure if it went in, they'd have called it back. For something. 16 minutes to get it done for the Lady Bombers.
I think if they do leave with a point, Mountain Home would clinch fifth. So there is still that. I think you'd get an extra all-state spot out of that.
That's like kissing your sister, Deacon.
Yeah, well, you're right. Well, I don't have a sister.
I don't either, but it's just like not.
Just housekeeping purposes.
You just finished outside the top 5. You can't go to state. Kind of like Harrison's baseball, right?
Oh, gosh. Don't bring them up. Be nice to those people.
Oh, we can't say anything. We're not in state either, but they aren't either. I'm not going to do the spin move this time on that girl. She was right here in front of us. I was hoping to see it again.
As this is going to bounce off.
Go get it, Lauren.
Lauren Rawls. Gosh, she's quick. Lauren might be the speediest kid in that family.
Yeah, she's fast for sure.
Fifteen and a half to go here. Substitutions coming onto the field. Jocelyn Hill's going to exit the game. Who's this coming in? Is that Addison? I think that's Addison Pulsifer on the far side.
Yep, it is.
That's Addison. You can tell red hair.
Yeah, who are they moving? They're going to move
pieces around.
Yeah, they're going to move Abby Dettelbach up into the offensive side of things.
Kind of in the midfield, kind of more in the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
So they've shifted the formation more to an offensive mindset. They've moved some of their midfielders to kind of a center mid position.
Yeah, Kinley Reynolds has been up here in this offensive side of things too, pushing forward a little bit this half. As here Dettelbach right in the front is going to get an opportunity.
Goes off of Witten Coleman's ankle and bounced straight up.
Witten was running away from her, and Dettelbach tried to lead her and hit her right in the back. Almost came right back to Abby though. Jocelyn's going to come in and replace Witten.
Did you see if Razorback baseball was rained out?
It still said delayed.
Okay. It might be there a while. It's supposed to rain all weekend in Baton Rouge. As here comes Mountain Home, a good opportunity in front of the net. It's going to go wide of the goal. It's going to be a corner.
Okay, here we go.
Don't touch the goalie. Yeah, don't let the goalie be.
Well, Witten's not in, so I think we're safe.
Good thing is in soccer you can't foul out.
No.
So I'm sure Witten loves that about this sport. You can just foul all you want. Blackwell's going to take it. Here it is back to the middle of the field. It comes down to a Lady Bomber, but it doesn't take a great hop for Mountain Home. Now Greenwood's on the counterattack.
Just a little flat on that kick. A little more air under it. Maybe get it across. Good job right there by Kendra Medley to slow up that push by Greenwood.
Just to impede her progress. Now it's cleared out by Mountain Home. Bless you. As 13 and a half to go in this one. Still nothing our score in Greenwood. Mountain Home was defeated. Was it 1-0 or was it 2-1 last time?
2-1.
Yep. Mountain Home trying to avenge that loss. It's going to be a throw-in for Mountain Home. It's going to be even with about the 5 on the football field. They'd be in the red zone in football.
Boy, Florida's up 8-1 on Texas.
Whew.
Texas comes to Arkansas, gets swept last weekend.
Stays number 1.
Stays number 1, and then goes at Texas, and Florida comes in, and they're just laying the whooping on them.
As this is cleared out by Greenwood guy. I saw.
It was actually Brooklyn Fisher that
yep.
checked. Yeah, she's in. That's a freshman, man. She's a baller. She was out a little bit with maybe a quad or hamstring injury or something.
I can't remember. As now Greenwood still got a good opportunity here as it's broken up by a Mountain Home. That's Addison Pulsifer who stepped in front of that one. He's a earlier Athlete of the Year finalist.
Kendra McLean did an excellent job right there, too.
She was another one.
Yeah, Witten Coleman was one.
Abigail Dettelbach was too.
Jocelyn, Kelsey.
Addison Ferris. Yeah, a lot of finalists. Let's say that they were in the girls' top 10. Eli Jones won
the boys?
Athlete of the Year.
Or not for boys, he just won it all.
Yeah, he won it all.
Yeah,
he added another state championship, and I think close to a state record this week. So that's a different dude. I mean, that's a good ceremony by the Stocktons. I always love when they put that on. They invite us to talk at it. So your dancing was a little bit better than I expected it to be. I was like, oh gosh, he's going to look very, very vanilla when you dance. I was like, okay, he's got some rhythm. That was all right.
Greenwood with a run out here, and good job. Kendra McLean just overran it just a little bit, but Kenna Medley's back there to clear it from Mountain Home up to Rawls. There we go. We need something good to happen, and they missed it. Go, Bella.
Here's Dotson. It's going to be just knocked out of harm's way. It'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home, about at the same spot it was about 5 minutes ago. Again, this is the final game of the year for the Lady Bombers. Last night they needed a win by 2 goals and a win tonight to make it. They will not make it. They can still finish the year on a good note, however.
Kelsey going to get one in. Well defended and blocked by
front of the net. Rawls
Greenwood.
falls down. I think that was Rawls. Now
Yeah,
Greenwood on the other end.
I think Rawls trying to push the issue maybe a little bit and get that foul call in that box, knowing she was just a little out of position. Good job by the official, honestly, not giving
Not
that.
falling for it.
Yeah, I like the try by Lauren though. You got to try it.
Yeah.
But
Here come the Lady Bombers. They go to the far side. That was Fisher they tried to get it to.
she's just like a little water boat, man. She is fast. Look at that.
Uh-huh. She's all over the place.
She is
Like
quick
2 or 3
too.
Brooklyn Fishers out there.
I mean, she's getting after it. I like it.
Goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home.
She plays hard.
A lot of times that's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who I was listening to as this is thrown in. Right here comes down to Dotson. Playing hard's a skill. Somebody, I think it was T.J. McConnell was saying that. He said playing hard it really is a skill. Playing hard and hustling. And if you could do that, it closes a lot of gaps in your game in any sport.
I'd like to see Mountain Home get a goal right here. Dettelbach, nice move. Get a foot on it, Abby. There you go.
Front of the net of Greenwood's broken up by Greenwood.
I'd like
Now
to see him,
it's going to go back to the 25.
like to see him get that goal out there, and then they can kind of, Fisher goes down over there.
King's right there going to check on her. As they will stop play here.
I don't know if she grabbed that hamstring over there. I don't know. I know she's been dealing with something over there. I don't know if it's same type issue here.
Clock's still going. The clock's still going.
Now it
They
stopped.
finally stop it.
Oh, she's getting up now. She's up on all fours.
9:01 to go here. Greenwood athletic trainer there also.
Oh, that's Jocelyn Hill.
Oh, yeah, it was.
She's going to jog off on her own power, though.
Uh-huh.
They're going to allow her to stay on.
Uh-huh. It's like, I can make it 9 more minutes, coach.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I hope they get a goal, get up on early one. And I know, King will do it anyways, but just to get the seniors in. Let them finish the last 5 minutes of this game out.
Well, the other thing is, 80% of his seniors are out there anyway.
That's
They
true.
play. I think
What's the
I don't
call
know. I hadn't
over
seen.
here?
Has Amanda been out there at all?
I've not
That's
seen
Amanda.
Amanda.
That's the only
no.
senior that.
Has not played
Yeah.
yet?
Well, I don't know if she has, but.
I have not seen Amanda go in. They are saying Jocelyn's going to have to come out of the game. King not happy with what explanation
I
he's
think
been
if you
getting told.
if you go down for an injury and they have to come check on you, you have to come out. I think that's a rule. I believe, that is a rule in soccer. So, and then you can go right back in. So, kind of like a yellow card. If they have to stop the game to take a look at you, then. So, free kick for Mountain Home. The official is. He's talking to the wall of Greenwood, make sure they're 10 yards away or 10 paces, depending which the official would prefer to use. Kelsey Blackwell going to take this free kick.
This is where we about scored from when we played at Harrison.
Uh-huh.
Same top kick right here. As Kelsey gets it up in the
Front of
air.
the net, and it's knocked
Ball's
around.
loose. Ball's loose. Get it in there, Lauren. Oh, it's the goalie's
That's
going
a
to get her
great
hand
job
in there.
by that keeper.
It is. She's fighting hard to go get it. Greenwood fans letting her hear about it. She's down now, injured a little bit.
Slow to get up.
But she might have been their MVP tonight. She's had some really good saves.
This has been just a really good soccer match tonight. Both teams played good. Both teams played hard. It's just both have had opportunities, just hadn't gone in the net.
Well, we had one go in the net.
Well, yeah, but legally go in the net, which we think it was legal, but kicks away, 8.5 to go, or 8 and under a half to go. Here in the second half of
That's a
final
handball.
game, as it should have been a handball. Okay, that's hard to see.
Yeah, it is.
So it's the opposite hand away from the center official, and there's no official on this side. So if it was on the far side, it would have been seen.
Well, he's down at the other end over
Yeah.
here, right? In professional soccer matches, do they have more officials, or is it the same
it's
deal?
the same, but they also have VAR, the video. It's the video review system. They can do it whenever they want. They can have a goal
Buzz
and then
down.
someone up in the booth can overrule it and say, "Hey, take that goal away." This is towards the net. Talbot skies and gets that
Good job,
one.
Talbot. Good job, Kiana.
Yeah, you'll see. You ever see highlights on YouTube or Facebook or whatever? When they go to review, you'll see the referee draw like a rectangle with his hands, and they'll go look at it, or someone. It's kind of like in the NBA, they'll send it to Secaucus to look at something, but now they'll just do it while the game's playing. Like the score could change over the course of a game as some subs coming in. Jocelyn's back in. Who's this over here? That's Kinley Reynolds come back in.
They can also check offsides and stuff like that with that review.
Yeah, they can wipe away goals for that. So that was a big thing because soccer's kind of in that same realm as golf. It's like it's a very purist sport. They played it the same for a million years. They don't like change, but that was one that's been just real welcome there. It's like even in golf when you go play in the Masters, I mean, you still keep your own score.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to make sure that score's right. And one thing I didn't know, if you're watching like the Masters or something, if it's a PGA event, you can call the PGA if you see an infraction on TV.
Oh, really? Witten's got it. Person ahead.
Here's Witten in front of the net. It's going to go high in the air. It'll be a corner kick. Yeah.
Good job, Witt.
That's what I might do. Might hate watch the Masters next year. Just pick at people breaking the rules.
That's not PGA sanctioned event, though.
Well, yeah, but you can call in that, too. I think it's,
It's its own little deal. I think the Masters is, but like the U.S. Open is. It's a USGA event.
That might be when the U.S. Open happens.
Yeah, the USGA event.
It's kind of like in the NBA. You can call, say, hey, that was a foul earlier. Y'all missed that one. So it's a corner. They're going to press kind of up. They're going to have Rawls centered in front of the net. They're just going to tap it in. Launch toward the middle of the net. If there was someone on that far side that had a wide open goal for it. It's settled down by Blackwell. Trying to make one miss. Now it's turned over, going the other way on the counterattack. Here come the Bulldogs.
Good defense, Kendra Medley.
Medley
Good
on
defense
this side,
again.
stepped in front of it again.
Now Rawls going to get in on the action.
Now Witten's going to hop in on here. Now that's
Kinley Reynolds.
I can tell by the brace on her wrist. Going back this way as it's going to go down to the 40. Mountain Home still in possession of it. Rawls going to try to send it past an outstretched leg of a Lady Bulldog defender. Looked like a ballerina over there.
And Mountain Home's still just pressing ahead really good. Still getting a lot of good.
Plenty of time to get a goal here. Kenna Medley will step in front of that one. Greenwood's still attacking. That's toward the net. Talbot's going to scoop that one up.
Kenna Medley, she's going to hobble up on that. Looked like she took a shot on that knee. She does have a ruptured ACL.
Yeah.
She's out there playing on it.
She's had it bandaged, taped, braced up. That's a different level of toughness.
Yeah, it is. Go Witt. Go Witt.
Here's Witten as she might have been able, again, that's one of those, if she was in soccer more, she could have tapped it back to herself. And,
yeah, just that little soft touch. Kenna Medley's going to come out of the game here. She's hobbling off. Troopers Abby Dettelbach, I believe, is who's checking back in for her.
Yeah,
no, it's Kendra McLean.
Yep.
Sorry.
McLean's going to go to the back row of Mountain Home. 4 minutes to go here. This is along the sideline and will be a throw-in for Greenwood.
Well, the girls ran 20 yards up. We like to do that too, though.
I think everyone does.
I like it.
I see that rule rarely enforced. Here's Jocelyn in pursuit of this one. She will just bat it out of play. It'll be a throw-in. Another good opportunity coming up here for the Lady Bulldogs with 3.5 to go. The final night of the Bomber and Lady Bomber soccer season. Here she goes with another cartwheel throw-in right there. Pretty good at that, and they've all been legal.
Yeah, that one didn't quite go as far in I think it should. Like, go
Oh,
get
yeah,
it, Whit.
slipped a little bit.
Go,
Here's
Whit.
and
Go
Coleman's
outrun
got a
them,
foot
Whit.
race.
Go. They're going to keep
That's
it up.
batted away, but it'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home.
She got a decent run out on that one. I thought she was going to outrun those girls.
Not very many girls outrunning Witten.
Just like her old dad.
You know, I believe that.
I used to be fast. That was before I was fat and slow.
You were a point guard too, so I believe that. They always say pitchers are athletes too, so.
I was a shortstop first.
Yeah.
Then I'd pitch when I had to.
There's Lauren Rawls. She lost the handle. It'd be the 2-minute warning if this were the NFL or college, but we're getting right there. Mountain Home still knotted up at 0 with Greenwood.
Looks like we got a 9:55 first pitch per
Down in Baton
LSU
Rouge?
baseball. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Gonna
That's
be
something to
late.
listen to on the way home.
This is true.
So, not the end of the world. 100 seconds left in this one. And there'll be no extra time, no overtime. Lady Bombers probably have 1 or 2 more good chances left in them. Here's Kelsey
Here's one
Blackwell
of
weaving
them.
through traffic over towards the net. It's scooped up by the keeper with 90 seconds to go. Lauren Rawls in pursuit of this one. As this will get knocked down by McLean.
Nice pass
and
ahead
sent
by
to
Kendra.
Rawls.
Good control. Nice pass ahead by
You know,
Rawls.
even if this result stays, it's still a good performance for Mountain Home considering yesterday. You know, you play a high-intensity game. You come here, you drive the other side of the world, it seems like. I mean, it's been a good night, even though it hasn't shown so on the scoreboard.
Yep, I agree. Rawls she shot out of a cannon after that ball, and Greenwood's going to get it ahead.
I think Greenwood's just content to take this tie to the house. Well, I say that. Now they got a decent opportunity. It's batted away by Mountain Home. Greenwood's kind of turned down the attack, and they've moved the back line of their defense back at least 15 yards compared to the start of the game. Down to 20 seconds. Mountain Home might be able to get one more launch at an opportunity. This will be a throw-in for Greenwood. Down to 10 seconds remaining.
This one's going to end in an O tie, I'm afraid, with 4 seconds.
So Mountain Home has come to Greenwood. They did not lose. They did not win. It is just a good old-fashioned tie tonight here in this one. So that's going to do it. Lady Bombers come to Greenwood. They end in a tie. This is their final game of the year. Man, just still a good season for the Lady Bombers. Had a lot of good memories. You know, they're not going to go play in the state tournament, but we appreciate the play of Abigail Dettelbach, Bella Dotson, Kelsey Blackwell, Kate Vandersteck, Addison Ferris, Witten Coleman, Kendra McLean, Jocelyn Hill, Addison Pulsifer, Amanda Garcia, Adrian Beauregard, and Crizia Rodriguez, the 2 managers for the Lady Bombers. But it's a good senior class, just good kids all around. You hate to see them leave.
Yep, I agree. It's been fun. Been a good ride.
So again, our final score, 0-0. The boys came up short 2-0 earlier tonight. They will not make the state tournament. They're going to fall just 2 points short of that one. That's going to do it from Smith Robinson Stadium. This has been Lady Bombers Soccer on behalf of the Mountain Home School District. This is Brad Coleman, my partner, buddy. Appreciate you making the short drive
Thanks for letting me on, Decon.
So next time we hear you, it'll be football season.
Oh, I'm ready.
So, that's right around the corner. We got spring game coming up. But
yep, coming up the 23rd,
I think.
Third, I think,
Something
is
like
what
that.
it is, somewhere in there. Yeah, the boys are having spring practice right now. So,
Well, we're going to try to hit the road, catch some of this Razorback game. That's Brad Coleman. I'm Dylan Conley. We're going to have state tournament softball for you next week here on the Bomber Sports Network, but that's it for our coverage tonight of Bomber Soccer here on the Bomber Sports Network. Have you a good rest of your week.